in July 2018, becoming Unai Emery's most expensive signing at a reported fee of close to £27 million. The 23-year-old had a promising debut campaign at Emirates Stadium, making 50 appearances in all competitions and scoring 3 goals as Arsenal claimed the 5th-place Premier League finish and reached the Europa League final. However, Torreira has revealed that despite his performances on the pitch, he has endured a hard time adapting to England, conceding he preferred his lifestyle in Italy. Quoting him, says, "I don't know if there are many things that I enjoy." Torreira, who is part of Uruguay squad for the upcoming Copa America, told Uruguayan outlet Ovation, "The language barrier has stopped me being able to relate with my teammates and with the people. It is very difficult when you can't have dialogue, and so is the climate. You go out in the morning and it is cloudy. You arrive late to your home and it is cloudy. It's a bit. We are accustomed to always having the sun, or almost always. But as the years pass, I'm going to be adapting." Torres signed a 5-year deal with Arsenal, though reports in Italy have suggested he's a target for AC Milan, who's set to announce Marco Giampaolo, who caught the player at Sampdoria, as their new boss. Arsenal started 2019-2020 league season away at Newcastle on August 11 and faced Burnley at home before taking on last season's runner-up Liverpool and arch rivals Tottenham in late August. Of course, before we leave the studio, let's give you some transfer tidbits making the rounds this evening.
Give me the power to win. We're flying high to the top. Let's not be there. Give me the power to win.
Yes, coming from the Sun, they said the Red Devils are ready to make a club record £95 million offer for the coveted French playmaker, who has also been linked with Paris Saint-Germain. Yes.
Give me the power to win.
That's talking about Antoine Griezmann. Yes, the man has been linked with Paris Saint-Germain, and reports have it that the Red Devils are planning on making a deal as much as £95 million for that particular man. Elsewhere, Liverpool have revived their pursuits of Nabil Fekir, according to French publication Le Progrès, with an upcoming summer friendly between the Reds and Lyon potentially holding the key to that deal. Tottenham's move for one of Fekir's club teammates, Tanguy Ndombele, is being complicated by the small matter of the player's €75 million price tag, says The Guardian. While the Mail claims that Chelsea will not allow Mauricio Sarri to leave for Juventus until their demands over compensations are met. Meanwhile, Swansea have appointed Steve Cooper, who was the England under-17 coach, as their new head coach. Meanwhile, Manchester United have found themselves at crossroads with David De Gea's contract situation rumbling on some 18 months after opening negotiation. The 28-year-old has been linked with a switch to French champions Paris Saint-Germain, but according to ESPN, the club have offered the Spaniard improved terms in a bid to keep him beyond his current deal, which expires next summer. Meanwhile, Lazio are plotting a move for Callum Chambers. Meanwhile, Aston Villa has agreed a club record deal to sign Club Brugge striker Wesley Moraes, according to reports. Belgian publication Hartlaat claimed that the newly promoted league club will pay £22 million for the Brazilian forward, who is poised to sign a 5-year contract at Villa Park. Wesley scored 15 goals and provided 9 assists for Club Brugge last term, and has previously attracted attention from the likes of Guangzhou Evergrande and Cardiff City. The Lazio and Newcastle have also been credited with a strong interest in his signature. Yes, and with that, we call it a wrap on the show. The show has been Soccer Nation, the best 15 minutes of football you can get anywhere on radio. My name remains Victor Oriahi. I urge you to go out there, of course, and enjoy for yourself the best of football. Support the females as they, trust me, great football happening right there at the FIFA Women's World Cup. My name remains Victor Oriahi, and I'm signing out.
Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contributes to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society only and only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
My bags, I'm leaving town. I bought a one-way ticket, I ain't coming back. It's goodbye friends and goodbye foes. I'm heading for the city and that's my home. Stay, don't ask me why. I've got no money, just hopes and dreams. I'm gonna find my destiny. I had about life in the city. Said that's where all dreams come true. Hard in the city, so wish me well, wish me well. I'm gonna be a famous superstar. I'm gonna drive a big old fancy car, my own pain all across this wall. And when the time is right, I find myself a girl. I had about life in the city, so that's where all dreams come true. I'm gonna work hard in the city. Wish me well, wish me well.
All right, a very good evening to you. It's good to be back in the studios. I am Canada, and you're currently listening to Today 95.1 FM here in the city of Port Harcourt. I have a guest with me in the studio, someone from Recharge and Get Paid, Monima George Will. Good evening to you.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome. So tell me, what's Recharge and Get Paid?
Recharge and Get Paid, it's a telecoms company As the name implies, you recharge and get paid. We've been in the industry for the past 4 years. And we're headquartered in Abuja.
All right.
We're NCC approved.
All right.
And we're also registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission.
All right. Well, so you've not yet. What do you represent? As in, when you say recharge and when someone hears recharge and get paid, what is the person, supposed to expect?
It means that whenever you buy your airtime, whenever you buy your data, whenever you pay for your DSTV, Go TV, Star Times, and also pay for your NEPA bill, which is PHCN right now, you get paid for doing this.
That's online.
Online, what we call the VTU, virtual top-up. Right. So we're helping people to turn their residual expenses into residual income. We're helping people to change their lifestyle into a lifetime lifestyle income opportunity.
All right.
So our company help people to generate wealth for themselves. So as their friends, their family members, and themselves pay all these bills, they get paid.
They get paid for every time they use those online platforms.
Exactly.
And every time they pay some bill,
exactly.
They get paid for it.
Exactly.
Interesting. Very, very interesting and captivating. But then again, how does this work? What is the mechanism behind recharge and get paid? Because, it sounds like I'm paying my bills and I'm getting paid for paying my bills. So how does it work?
It's a very simple thing. People know about VTU.
Right.
If you go to the streets, to the shops, to the kiosks, you'll see these MTN logos kept in the shops, and MTN has been advertising for people to know how to use VTU. What is VTU? VTU means virtual top-up.
All right.
That's online top-up.
All right.
Somebody has airtime of 400 naira and wants to transfer to the spouse, maybe 100 naira from that 400 naira. And that's VTU.
All right.
It is not paper type.
I understand.
It is online. You do it from your phone, from the comfort of your phone.
All right.
That way you can buy for yourself, you can buy for others, and you get paid.
All right.
And if others buy from you, you also get paid.
Interesting.
If you introduce it to your friends and family members, whenever they buy they pay for
Whenever
these bills.
They use
exactly.
the
You use a platform to pay for their airtime, for their data, for their DSTV, Go TV, Star Times, and their NEPA bills. You make money.
All right.
So invariably, you're earning residual income. You're making money from other people's expenses.
All right. So now looking at it, wonderful package, by the way, very innovative.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So now, what are the criteria? How can someone, be a part of recharge and get paid?
If you want to be a part of recharge and get paid, this is an opportunity for you.
All right.
A lot of people have heard about this opportunity. For me, it's an opportunity, and it's also a privilege, because if you have to go to these multinationals to get a license to own your VTU, it's going to take you millions. So we have an upcoming event on Saturday. That's next tomorrow at the Algate Hotel.
At where?
Algate Hotel. Algate Hotel is along Sania Abacha Road.
Oh, okay.
So this seminar is coming up on Saturday. We're going to have 2 sessions.
All right.
Mind-blowing, explosive sessions.
All right.
We will show people right there on the spot how they can profit from it. And we want them to come prepared.
All right.
So basically, they need to come 10 a.m. in the morning. That will end by 12 noon.
All right.
And the second session is going to start from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. They need to send a special code to this number, MOG.
Sorry, take it slowly. Because,
yes.
Take it slowly.
They need to send.
What's the code now?
The code
let's
is
get with the code
MOG,
now.
Man of God.
MOG.
Exactly.
All right, so
Man of God. Just MOG for short.
Yes.
Send it to 08030863278.
Someone might be listening and say you're too fast. So let's do it
Over.
slowly this
Let me
time
do it
now.
again.
Yeah.
08030.
No, still fast. No.
80.
All right.
30.
All right.
86.
All right.
3278. So
All right.
08030863278. So if you send MOG to that number, we will reserve a seat for you. So we have 2 sessions, the 10 a.m. session and the 2 p.m. session.
Now let's talk now. As a Nigerian, I'm representing, I'm representing every Nigerian out there. And so I'm like their mouthpiece. And I know many people will be thinking and saying, hey, I mean, I did this financial, investment, and I got duped per se, or I lost money. I did this other one, I lost money. So why should I now be a part of this? So what would you say? What is it, that thing you would say to someone listening right about now that would convince them to come for, the event on Saturday? Talk to me.
Basically, this is what every other person listening to me today do. People have been paying for airtime, for data, for the past 20 years.
All right.
Now, Recharge and Get Paid is unique in the sense that we're not like any other multi-level marketing company. We're not a Ponzi. We don't pay people to raw Paul.
All right.
Now, this is a buying and selling business.
All right.
We have products.
All right.
What are our products? Our products are what we call ear. They are essential products.
All right.
Nobody can do away without airtime or data. They are affordable, and they have what we call the repeat buy. When your airtime finishes,
All right.
will anybody remind you to buy it? No. Nobody will be able to remind you. You will remind yourself. In fact, sometimes when you're broke, you have your last 100 naira. What you need to do is to buy airtime of 100 naira and call a friend for help. So with this, I'm trying to learn. With this, that tells you that our business can maintain and sustain itself. So when will people stop buying airtime? When will people stop buying data? So if people won't stop, then you know that this business is visible, is vibrant, and is viable, and is going to be there. So it's not like any other kind of business. Here, we're trying to help you change your expenses, turn your expenses into income.
Okay.
Just by you simply getting the license.
All right. So I was going to ask a question and you just skipped my head, but let's go to the next one now.
Okay.
Now, when they recharge, they get paid.
Exactly.
When they recharge, they get paid.
That's true.
If I recharge 100 naira now, let's say, and I use like you said, I have the last 100 naira on my or in my account on my phone, and I do the normal and I recharge. How much am I getting in return?
You're going to get some discount. For example, you take the sum of 100 naira to the roadside seller, and you give that person 100 naira. How much airtime will that person give to you? 100 naira. Did the person make a profit?
I wouldn't know. I don't know how much the person
Of
bought
course,
it for.
definitely you know that the person won't be there just because the person wants to be there. The
Yeah.
person made a profit.
Yeah, true.
So I give you 100 naira, you
Oh,
give me
yeah,
100 naira
actually,
airtime.
yeah,
So there
yeah.
is a discount.
Yeah.
That discount goes back to you. Now, recharge and get paid is beyond buying and selling of airtime. So we want people to come.
Sorry to call you short. And I mean, you're gonna get back to that now.
Good.
So you're saying that every time that I get to purchase, the money that would have been taken, the profit that would have been taken
Exactly. By the middleman.
I get to take it.
You get it.
Interesting.
And not just you getting it, about 10 persons will get it. So the profit will be shared. And that's why when you register with Recharge and Get Paid, you become a major stakeholder in the telecoms industry. And you benefit from the vast global pool of money coming in the telecoms industry. And that's why every day you can make as minimum as 10,000 naira in a day.
All right. So every young person listening right now can actually be, who knows, maybe in 6 months, a millionaire, because it's possible.
It varies.
Yeah.
I always tell people it all depends. You have events that car, you give it to two guys, same car. From Port Harcourt to about one will arrive before the other. Why?
But
Experience and a lot of factors
All right.
will be responsible for that.
So let's get the numbers again, and let's how instructions for them to be a part of the event on Saturday.
Great, awesome. Recharge and Get Paid on Saturday.
All
We'll
right.
be having a wow seminar
All right.
coming up at the Algate Hotel,
All right.
Sani Abacha Road.
All right.
Saturday, this coming Saturday, 2 days from today. The time is 10 a.m. Send MOG to this number 08030863278, and we will reserve a seat for you. So we have two mind-blowing sessions. We have the 10 a.m. to 12 noon,
All right.
and we have the 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. session.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, don't get it twisted. You're still tuned to Today 95.1 FM. And I am Canada. Yes, I'm back in the studio. And I am talking to Monimat Judgewell from Recharge and Get Paid. And he's calling me on the benefits of, going with Recharge and Get Paid. Where many of us listening, we get to buy some of our products online. We get to buy recharge cards. We get to pay electricity bills, cable, TV bills, almost every bill, even I believe transfers. Transfer money to someone's account is also a part of it.
No.
Okay. So, but basically, online transactions, I believe, or some online transactions, and when you do that, you get paid for it. You get paid for it. Awesome, right? Very much awesome. So, hey, what are you waiting for? Text MOG to 0803086 3278 to be a part of the event. So you go learn. Remember, boys, remember, girls, remember, gentlemen and ladies. Information is key. Knowledge is power. So you go there, go grab yourself some information, go grab yourself some knowledge, and use that power to make yourself a millionaire. So, when people attend the event on Saturday, what will they be living with?
They will be living with a VTU.
All right.
We have the licenses.
All right.
And we'll help them get registered on the spot.
All right.
The license, it's a maximum of 100,000. We also have 50. We have
right.
40, 30, 20, 10, and even 5,000.
Sorry, come again. So there are different licenses, different packages, rather,
yes,
for
packages.
the license.
Yes, for the license.
All right. So first one is what?
100,000. We have 50.
100,000,
We have 40. We have 30. We have 20. We have 10, and we have 5. So everybody can afford it.
So, sorry, no, let me understand this very well now. When you have a 100,000 naira package, it means that you will be able to expend as much as 100,000 on the VTU? Is that
No,
what it means?
it's like getting an oil wall. Like getting an oil wall.
Oh, my.
You pay for the license.
Oh, my, all right.
The government doesn't give you tractors, equipment, engineers. You have to do that.
All right.
So when you come to the seminar, we'll show you, because the 100,000 naira has much benefits than the 50. The 50 has much benefits than the 5, just like that. So it varies. The benefits vary. So when you come to the seminar, we will show you. So we like people to come ready, not just to come and listen, because it's a practical session. We just want them to come, know how it's going to be done. So we show them right there on the spot how they recharge, how they get paid. So before they leave the venue, they will go home with something, not just going and not getting anything like most people always do in most seminars. So recharge and get paid is unique, and we're known for being practical.
Monima.
Yeah.
Someone out there, I believe, is still skeptical. What's your advice for that person?
It's good to be skeptical.
All right.
Until you know the fact. Then you realize that, look, life, it's all about learning, unlearn, and you relearn, because life itself is dynamic.
All right.
And of course, you know that you can't stop the future. Recharge and get paid is the future.
All right.
Every day you wake up, new things come up. So it's better for you to have an open mind for an intelligent conversation. So that's where you realize that you just have to be part of the 21st century, because the times are changing. Paper cards are phasing away. So the way we do things yesterday won't be the way we're doing things today, and it will not be the same way we will do things tomorrow. So when you come for the program tomorrow at the Algate Hotel, Sanu Abacha Road, we will show you how these things are done. It's very simple. If you don't have the money to get registered on the spot, it doesn't mean you shouldn't come. Come with your family, come with your friends. You never can tell. At the end of the day,
something might happen.
Exactly. We'll open your eyes.
A miracle might happen.
Exactly. We'll open your eyes, and you will definitely get to know how to do this thing. Remember what Richard Branson said: if you meet an opportunity and you don't have the finances, you don't have the resources, just find out how you can be part of it. And the people who are in the business will show you how to do it.
All right. So once again, tell us Algate Hotel.
Yes, Algate Hotel, Recharge and Get Paid. We're organizing a seminar at the Algate Hotel on Saturday, coming Saturday, 2 days from today, 10 a.m.
That's
along Sanu Abacha Road.
15th of June.
Yeah, 15th of June, exactly.
So
exactly.
Sanu Abacha Road.
Sanu Abacha Road.
All right. Opposite next time, I believe.
Opposite next time to Market House, the Lily Mall.
Yeah. All right. So what next? They're going to text.
All they need to do, send an SMS MOG to 08030863278. So 08030863278. Just send a code and we will keep a seat. We reserve a seat for you.
All right. Thank you, Monima George, for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful information.
It's been an amazing time.
All right.
Here.
Thank you very much. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Go grab your copy now. 15th of June, 2019. I'll get to tell 0803-086-3278. Just send a text message MOG, and wow, you might just be a millionaire.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore, where cultism spreads and breeds evil in its every wake. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent. And as your number one talk station, we have taken the challenge to champion this discourse and prefer solutions. Join us at our Anti-Cultism Summit on the 6th of July at 9 a.m. Be part of the solution.
My bags, I'm leaving town. I bought a one-way ticket, I ain't coming back. It's goodbye friends and goodbye foes. I'm heading for the city and that's my home. Stay, don't ask me why. I've got no money, just hopes and dreams. I'm gonna find my destiny. I had about life.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
To you, it's been a very beautiful day. It's always a beautiful day for me. I don't know about you, but I want to believe it's been a wonderful day for you. It is the 13th day of the month of June 2019. We're 2 minutes past the hour of 7, and my name is Buchira. Of course, it is time for Area Talk. And the station is Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people, the only station that gives you the voice to air your views, your thoughts, and your opinion on issues that actually bothers you. And Area Talk is a program that gives you the ample opportunity as well to call in and bring the news to us. It's an eyewitness report show that you get to call in and share reports of things happening in your community that probably majority of us are not in the know of. That's what we do here on Area Talk. On the program, you are the journalist, you are the reporter. I am your host. And, you could be my co-host as well. Like I said, I am Buchira Fwa, and Area Talk is always really exciting. And, I was somewhere around Umbolu today. And as usual, Umbolu, I don't know what's... Well, I know what the problem is. The road is bad and needs urgent attention. But Umbolu needs urgent attention, as in very, very urgent. I don't know who the Good Samaritan was that walked on the East-West Road heading towards Tank. Yeah, in front of that company JJ is always calling to report on. Although they didn't fix the place completely, but at least something was done. And we have churches doing something for their community. Places like Elio's. Tijana called in yesterday and reported that a particular church actually brought Swan Boogie for them, and their canal was being worked on for 3 days. And he also told us that the local government said they would send their Swam Boogie to continue from where the church stopped walking in. So you see, as of yesterday, we got 1,000,001 positive feedback, and I love getting that on the program. We are here, we talk about things as much as we call on the governments to do what they ought to do, what they are supposed to do as governments. We also believe there are well-meaning individuals out there that could actually do much more than maybe the government could do. So you call in and talk. Whatever you are going through in your community and you think people should be in the know of, it's a challenge for the community as a whole, please call in on Area Talk. It's not enough talking to your friend or your brother or your sister complaining and that's all. Say it out and let people hear. Blow the whistle, drum. Whatever it is you want to do, just call in here and report to us on Area Talk. Now, the other time Mr. Onye was here, we talked about rural electrification, and we're currently working on that one. Meanwhile, for all those that has challenges with their electricity, please call in and let's hear from you. Yesterday, I told you, if there are vocational centers in your community and probably it's not functional or something is wrong with it, whatever it is, I would love to hear from you. Those communities with vocational centers, I'd love to know the state at which it is in right now and what's going on. The lines are up. You can call in and share your eyewitness reports with us. That's what we do here on the program. And don't forget, we take reports from the south region of the country. Once in a while, we get from Aba, we get from Owerri, we get from Bayelsa. Well, yeah, Bayelsa is part of it though. We get from other places. We could also hear what's going on, but we actually pay more attention to the south region of the country. So call in and let's hear from you. The numbers are 0817-0000951 or 0810-951-0951. And for WhatsApp messages and text messages, you could send them to the number 0701-933-9962. As of yesterday, I would still love to clarify this part of it. Emenike called in 2 days back and said something about OSPAC at Ndili. And he reported that someone was shot at Ndili, but he said it had something to do with OSPAC. Now, he wasn't saying OSPAC is a bad thing because 1,000,001 persons called in yesterday to attack him or clap back or something, whatever it was they were doing. But he didn't say they don't need OSPAC at Ndeli. He just complained about what happened. He gave his eyewitness report. He told us what happened. Someone also sent in an SMS telling us it was his brother. But he wasn't saying they don't need OSPAC at their community. He was just giving an eyewitness report and telling us what happened in their community. And for others, many other communities are also calling for the presence of OSPAC in their community. Turns out that so many persons are actually comfortable and satisfied with what OSPAC are doing. And I asked a question because basically every community, today this person is calling for OSPAC, tomorrow that one, and everybody just because of the issue of insecurity. And then I asked, with all this here and there, don't you think it just might be overwhelming for OSPAC? I'm not speaking for them. They haven't said anything like this, but I'm asking because it used to be just one community in a local government, but now it's like every other person needs their presence. Don't you think it just might get overwhelming for them at a particular point in time? Meanwhile, still on the issue of insecurity, the youth in Ogoni communities, they've called for more deployment of security operatives and special security summit for youth in the area for the return of peace in Ogoni land. They also called on stakeholders to intensify efforts in ending the resurgence of cult violence that have continued to destroy the people. The youth president of Bamboy community in Kana local government area, that's Damiel Damale, he said court clashes have continued despite series of warning by governments. All right. I'm sure you recall what the government said about communities with insecurity. Whatever is supposed to bring developments there, they're supposed to allocate to that place will be withheld because of insecurity. And you know what he said regards traditional rulers that are ruling in a particular community where probably they're kidnapping or insecurity is at the high there. I'd love to hear from you. The lines were buzzing earlier, but sorry I couldn't pick then. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Area Talk.
Yeah, my name is Amruka Edwin, calling from Amua local government. You see,
what part of Amua?
I'm from Rumuji, Amua local government. I love Undele. Yeah, see, good evening. Let me just, it's not every that would like to play politics. You can't play politics in human's life. And before they brought us back in our community, in Rumuji and Undele, to protect life and property, they did not bring us back. To keep, that they did not bring us back to keep. What they brought us back is to protect human's life, including everybody. All him living thing was protected for life. So when us back is coming to local government or a particular to come and say, it's not something that is afraid. People should not be afraid. Everybody should come back home to come and live peacefully. That is the work of us back. They don't come and start killing people. And all the whole traditional rulers and the chiefs and the elders should call them together to make sure that there must be peace in the local government. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. But I don't know who exactly we're blaming OSPAC for, whatever it was you claimed. All right, we'll be going on a short commercial right now. As soon as we get back, I'll dive up straight to the phone lines and get your eyewitness report, get all your comments and thoughts on what's happening in your community when we get back from this commercial.
Hi, Mommy.
Hello, my love. Missing me already?
Yes, Mommy. When are you coming?
Oh, next week, darling. And I'll be bringing delicious meals for you and all your friends.
Okay, Mommy. I can't wait to see you. Love you.
Love you too.
She says she's bringing food next week.
Yeah! All of you, keep quiet. Oh, yeah. Fetch my water now. I can't be late for assembly.
Yes, SP.
Tunde, you're exempted.
Good taste creates great memories. Relive the memory of delicious meals cooked with Mr. Chef's Seasoning Cubes. Available in multiple variants. Mr. Chef's Seasoning Cubes are available at your nearest market or superstore. Mr. Chef's Seasoning Cubes, creating delightful memories.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore, where cultism spreads and breeds evil in its every wake. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent. And as your number one talk station, we have taken the challenge to champion this discourse and prefer solutions. Join us at our Anti-Cultism Summit on the 6th of July at 9 a.m. Be part of the solution.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
FM, good evening.
Good evening, Ricky.
Good evening to you.
This is Mommy Angel calling from Alakaya.
Mommy Angel, what's happening at Alakaya?
No, it's not Alakaya. It's this technical college that is near that, what do they call that place? Slaughter, because my son is in that school.
Okay.
So
what about
the dormitory is bad. The school is good, but the dormitory is bad. The dormitory is bad. If government can help and look into that dormitory there.
Okay.
Please.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, keep your calls coming in and let's know what's going on in your community. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Area Talk.
My name is CP from the chain Movement.
Your name is? Hello? I didn't get your name, sorry.
I think my name is CP, calling from the chain.
Okay, CP, go ahead. Welcome to Area Talk.
Okay. I want to tell you that we've been needing the house park in our community.
What part of Eche are you calling from?
Precisely, I'm calling from Dagwa.
Okay.
So
what's going on there? Why do you need the presence of Ospark there?
Dagwa local community, a lot of boys are stopping, don't allow people that come to stay. Strangers does not stay long and they park out from those places because the boys are stopping them everywhere. So if possibly they could buy the Ospark to come to the community, they would appreciate what they will do for them.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling in. 95.1 FM. I lost this one. So there's a report from Cross River. It was alleged that although the pastor was paraded by the police there, but it was alleged by a lady that the pastor actually raped her and threatened her with a gun not to talk about it. We'll get back to that after this call. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Area Talk.
My name is Abigail.
Abigail, where are you calling me from, please?
From Rumosi.
Rumosi. What's happening at Rumosi?
I want to talk about the light situation in Rumosi.
All right, go ahead.
Like, the light situation here is very, very bad and it's not appealing at all. Like, in my compound, for like 3 weeks to 1 month, we didn't have light.
3 weeks to 1 month?
Yes, we've not had light. So we just fixed our light like 2 days ago. Never bought this, they are bringing like 80,000. Where is the bill coming from?
Okay.
So it's not encouraging. We are suffering. It's not encouraging.
All right. Noted. Thank you very much. Have any issue with them? If you think there's something going on that probably they are billing you more than you should had been billed, you could actually reach out to them and lay your complaints to them. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. Go ahead, please.
This is George, calling from MOA local government area.
George, what part of the MOA?
As I'm talking to you, I'm in my community now. As I'm talking to you now.
Okay.
Please, see, there is a research that I have carried about this insecurity stuff. And the way forward is that, yes, everybody needs the presence of the police, needs the presence of OSPAC. There's something, but what I'm talking about is that the government should also create some ideas for them to make sure that they develop different communities, different local governments, not centering everything in the urban region. Like as I'm talking to you now, my people, they have palm fruits, and if the government can give them support in any kind, they can create just small industry for the people to be working there. Like for them in the agriculture sector, they can be doing well because this insecurity we are talking about when this government is not developing, bringing development simply means that you put all the apparatus, everything that is going to make people to be comfortable. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in an urban city or you are in rural community. Like a situation like MOA local government area, look at for over how many years, imagine MOA local government does not have light. And how do you think people that is bad in
Not every part of MOA doesn't have lights, please.
How many they have light? They have light. What about the other clan? What about the Obakri? What about the I know.
Even if it's just one place, at least they have lights. So don't generalize it on MOA.
So what I'm trying to say is that for us to make sure that this insecurity that is happening within our domain, understand? The people have to be engaged. Because if you bring HOSPAC today, now I'm commending HOSPAC. If you bring them, will HOSPAC stay with us forever? Will the security agencies stay with us forever? They should make sure that these boys.
I get where you're coming from, but don't you think your community have a role to play? Let's imagine, okay, now OSPAC is coming and OSPAC is there and security, they're trying to curtail the insecurity in that community. What are the community members, the traditional rulers? I'm not using any community in particular, I'm just generalizing it now.
That is what I'm telling you.
What are the community? I know you are talking about government bringing development and trying to assist the community, right?
Okay.
What are the community themselves doing?
Let me tell you something. The community, the entire, as I'm talking to you, the entire Odegin clan, understand me? The government is not really supporting them in the absence of this security issue. To be sincere with you, Rumewo community paid money, and they are still paying. As I'm talking to you, they are still paying. Rumuji, they are still
paid money to who?
Paid money to security agency to come and secure us.
Which security agency?
To SAS. As I'm talking to you, SAS is in my community. We are the one paying for it. Nobody is paying for it. Nobody is supporting. Nobody. They are shouting because is any of them supporting?
You are being billed to pay for it.
Yes, I'm telling you. Just go and make you investigate. Just go and investigate Rumewo community. Rumewo are the one paying for their security. As I'm talking to you, Rumewo, they have spent close to 700,000 naira for those people to be there. The people, they are in our health center. They are doing a very great job. That is why their community is calm today. Go and make your research. It's not a matter of go and ask anybody that is from Rumewo. Go and ask. Go and verify.
I believe others are listening, and I'm sure they will call in.
They are listening. This thing I'm telling you is a sure. I am a committee of them. I know what
oh, you are even part of the committee.
So that is what I'm telling you. That they are citing insecurity. What have they done? Create jobs to people. Give people employment. Create all this minor stuff. People can be doing so many things. Bring electricity to people. People can engage, back their heads, do other things, sell their pure water. The community will be moving forward. You don't see one huge. We used to get a time, say, bros, we know see food to do. This we know get opportunity to come to that house. This will go do for village. That is one thing. People should be engaged. And that was why when the governor did that message, he told them that he's going to train them in agriculture. I was happy. If I thought the governor would have that idea, to make sure that he train these people, not paying them and not them for them to pay them. Train them, give them this key. If they give them the key, you can see that all these things will reduce to DRS minimum.
Okay.
Thank you, George.
All right, George. Thank you very George. Hello, George.
Yes.
Please, what part of Emoa has that rice farm again?
Rumewo rice farm.
Okay, it's at Rumewo. Okay, thank you very much. All right. 95.1 FM, good evening. Oh dear, sorry I lost your call. Please call back and let's hear from you and know what exactly is going on in your community. If someone have called in to say something and you think it's not actually applicable to every part of that community, please, you could call in to clarify and let us know what you think about whatever the person said. So I was telling you about what happened at Cross River. The Cross River State Police Command, they paraded one Pastor Hosanna Okoy for allegedly raping a woman and threatening to kill her with a gun if she revealed what happened. Now, this is the part where you wonder what exactly is the truth. You know, it's complicated. There are times you hear some stories, you hear from this party, it's giving you one side of the story, and the other party is telling you another part of the story. And then you just say, so what exactly is the truth? Just like some of my callers called in before the election and were like, Buchi, they are all saying 1,000,001 things. They are promising us lights. They are promising us electricity. They are promising us good road. The same thing we've been promised many years back. Who exactly do we know? How do we tell who is telling the truth? I'm sure we'll keep asking ourselves that question. But meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Austin Agbonlao, he said Okoy, who claimed that his church was located in Sierra Leone, mind you, he's a pastor. He was arrested after a lady reported to the police that a pastor who was supposed to pray for her allegedly raped her and threatened her with a gun to stop her from reporting the incident. But on the other hand, Okoye himself had something else to say, and I quote his words now. I am a Nigerian, but I'm the pastor of Gates of Testimony based in Sierra Leone. I came to Nigeria and I met the lady who said she was going to a wedding. I did not know her from Adam, but I offered to take her there and gave her 500 naira to drink water. Later, we met at a joint and we drank, and that is all that happened. I did not take her to anywhere, and I don't know why she decided to frame me up. So he was paraded alongside 400 level students and some other persons that were arrested as well by the police command. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, Iwa Burma. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Area Talk.
Yes. I walk.
Walk is beautiful, thank you. How is yours?
No, Allah.
All right.
That's my brother did tell you.
Which was your brother?
For that security staff this year. I tell you, it's true.
You did it?
The community is paying for that.
Iwa Burma, you did it?
You know that my area now.
Okay.
The same people. I know what is happening there now.
Okay, I'm listening.
I know what is happening there. It's true. They have spent much money because our community. You also use soldier because it's only this money. We will not afford this kind of money. 1 million or this and this. Small time they will go back. So that is true. What the man is telling you. So for my area talk, I'm talking about our roads. Our roads. Modogo. Let the government help us. Let the NDDC. Let them also help us. Because we still in Nigeria. Let the NDDC help us. For the roads where they have award before. They are never done anything about the road. Only to come on, they want to come on the bottom of the road. And I think the place, why? Let them get to call that place or something. No way. As this rain now, begin for now, nobody go pass that place again. And all our food now for that side. Let them go and help us. Let this state road, where we go, Amesi, our former governor, award that road. They don't work it. Oh, they don't award the road. No, they don't work it. So let them help us. Because we believe our brother, we believe him that he must walk the road. Maybe we fight for him to make sure that he win. Let him remember that road. Let him remember that road. That road has abandoned for many years. Look at it from Monday to our former governor, Messi. So this week, let them abandon us. Let them remember us. And the chairman who is helping us, our government chairman who is helping us, let him sit tight. Let him sit tight because he don't want to talk about that road. So they want that road to one mile. So they don't know how to come on the road for that man. Let them do something to make sure say, if they want to give a damn man, if any of what they want to do, let we see that road. Let we see that road. That is our problem. So that we can know what. But the water to enter our community, or if you we go match for the water before we go for that God. If you not be that police that water there, I don't know how people will do. If you might have you go to that police job, because that man put go there. That there are people see what like. If you want to go see every day. What that will do if that man stop not to use that water again. How go do? We go match from inside community. So for that God. So let's go and help us. Light we will not have. School will not have no way. So let me help us. I know that people like at the room with you that they are working on it.
How far with the light, sir?
Yes, that man, they put that first. So make sure the light come out at the room to go. And then one will not have light. And I will not have light. One will not have light. No way for work.
All right.
No light. In this let them help us. At least we say, yes, government, this government have done this for us. The government have done this for us. The government have done this for us. It's not good to live like that.
Okay.
Thank you. I beg.
All right. All right, Tuwaburama. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Hello, good evening, Buji.
Good evening to you.
Buji, my sister. Now something must kill a man now in the talk.
Exactly. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Buji. Let me just sound like this evening, I am not happy for some things that is happening in River State and in my local government particularly.
We're listening.
But do you know that I was on this your program? I always complain that government must not do everything for us. I give instance of what happened in my community when two court groups called me because they are opportune. They gave them matching grant. They are opportune to have money. They called me to come and erect electric pole and do some certain work for them.
Two calls
now,
groups.
Let me tell you. Yeah,
two calls
yeah,
group,
yeah,
you say?
Yeah. Yes, the Devon and that land. The community said they should be collecting matching grant money from the sound feed.
The community gave them the instruction.
Yes, and they realized more money. Asked me to come and erect some concrete pole in the community.
Okay.
You know, because we have a wooden post. Now, let me tell you something. I was in in my council today. When I went there, the chairman of Emoha local government was holding a security meeting with the security officials. After the meeting, I saw another group of people going to hold meeting with the chairman. I said, which set of people is this? They said they are from Rumekwe. Are you hearing me? Say there was a company. I want somebody to quote me right now. Somebody that is from Rumekwe should call this evening because I'm annoyed. Now that a company in that community wants to pay them 25 billion naira.
Okay.
And the 2, 3, 4, 5 persons is minusing 4 billion out of that 25 billion naira for their own purpose, for their own self. Now, Buchi, I want to ask a simple question. There is no light in the room. If out of that 25 billion naira, they deep hand the job, Buchi, won't they give themselves light?
Okay.
That is my question this night. Out of the 25 billion naira or 100 billion or 2 billion naira they are bringing for the community, can't they put down the there and bring? Somebody will call from Rumekwe that he is 35 years old now and there is nothing like NEPA light in Rumekwe. But the company will bring huge amount of money and 2, 3 persons will minus 4 billion on their own. I am sorry. That is why Rumekwe keep on complaining. Sorry, Rumodogo keep on complaining on road. I told you that I went for investigation in their community. They told me that when Amechi, the former governor, was in power, he want to do construct road for them, and their youth team up said they should pay matching grant. Amechi said to hell, till when somebody that is from your community become the governor of the state, then you will get road. They are chatting on week. What do you want government to do for you? I am challenging somebody that will call for Rumekwe today because I'm highly annoyed. I saw the crowd of people. Few people out of 25 billion naira. Few people want to inherit 4 billion. Then tell me tomorrow that if I am among those that will not share that 4 billion, I can look for every visible means. So fight those that eat that money. Buchi, they see. They should, in fact, I want somebody that is from Rumekwe to call and quote me wrong right this evening. Thank you very much.
Moskileman, thank you very much. That's quite something. Moskileman just alleged something from a Rumekwe community. But whoever wants to call in to probably quote him wrong or right, would love to hear from you. That's after this short commercial. We'll be going in a short commercial right now. We will be right back.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore, where cultism spreads and breeds evil in its every wake. A solution we seek, a desire to stop the trend is imminent. And as your number one talk station, we have taken the challenge to champion this discourse and prefer solutions. Join us at our Anti-Cultism Summit on the 6th of July at 9 a.m. Be part of the solution.
Welcome back. The program is still Area Talk here on your number one premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Of course, my name is Buchi Rafwa. I am your host, and it's getting hot in here. Before we went on the short commercial, something must kill a man called in to make some allegations against some persons. He said a particular company was coming to I don't know, give something to the community, about 25 billion naira or so, and some persons want to take 4 billion out of it. But that's just what Something Must Kill a Man called into allege. Would love to hear from others in that community. If you caught wind of a story like that, or you're actually sure, probably you were there in the meeting, and you could call in and share or enlighten us more on what transpired and what happened, what went down there. Meanwhile, for others in other parts of the South region, be you at Benin, Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and you're listening, please call in and let us know what is going on in your community. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening to you.
Yeah, well, good evening at all. But then you have to what that man just said.
What's your name?
I want to say, good sister, and B.O.B.
B.O.B., okay.
Yeah, that man that called, God will bless him 100 million times because he's a beautiful man. When somebody is shouting, me too, come and do what's road. When Jos Vega are doing that West Road, I walk in Jos Vega. We know that the people that kidnap this Jos Vega white man, I don't know where you sit by them. They use that, they are from that road to the side. They come, you join their neck, tie contact on their neck, to kidnap 2 white men. That was stop that road before Jos Vega ran away. So they are fond of trying to use force on something. So they kidnap those white men and demand for money. I don't know whether they connect, because somebody cannot use their community and then come and do kidnapping. I'm telling you, quote anybody in Urumuchi, whenever I come to Urumuchi, they kidnap those white men. I work in the at that time.
Okay, that was something that happened many years back. So how does it affect what Something Must Kill a Man said?
Anybody who fights development, that's what will happen because God is not sleeping.
All right.
So that's why we were concerned. So now let's on that. That man who called now and said, it's a truthful man. God will bless him. He live long. Then I also want to tell you about issue of security again.
Where?
First part did something in Oda East. You saw a woman.
When did this one happen?
This one happened some months past.
Months past?
I forgot to tell you. I want to tell you because it's part of their work. They saw the woman coming back out of the market and don't know their usual way. You know, God can use Satan against Satan. They saw the woman, that the woman is an evil woman. They stopped her. They told the woman, Madam, stop. She stopped. That they are, I don't know how they call it, the monitor, whatever they use in their own way. They put the woman between on there, but the woman didn't show red. They asked the woman, who are you? The woman told the community where she come from. And then when they bring the woman to the community, you know that this woman used juju to close everybody's market. Only she is the one selling. Other people are close to her and will not be selling. She has closed all the shop around her.
Okay.
Then she began to confess where she did the charm, where they did the charm for her.
So that's what Ospak did. He saved the rest of those in the market some months back. Okay.
She suspended other people's business. Only she was selling.
All right.
So we had to confess, and they now told her that somebody told her that she will go and buy a dog or goat so that they will sacrifice to spoil the chance she has used to block other people. So
all right.
That the husband in that place, you see that those people who are evil, you need to run away. Because when I hold an issue of the same problem that this family has in now, so we are benefiting from it. So we are cooking food to go and give to these boys, those communities, and so we are giving them their own daughter to befriend them so that they can now answer.
So your point?
So my point is that we should cooperate with them so that they can reach their community of evil people. That is on that. But the case of the pastor who was alleged that he's a human, what is the pastor do in joint?
What won't a pastor be doing in a joint? But thank you very much, POB. Thank you very much.
So why is he doing a joint? So it's considerable. And any pastor who doesn't think so, this pastor, not a true one. This pastor cannot reach a human.
Okay, says BOB. Thank you very much for calling in. And to the text message portal, this one says Buchi Obo community in Auda is seriously facing frequent raping of young girls in the bush and at home. The men that are doing this evil now are not court boys. They are people we see as normal people. Please let government and civil society come to our aid, as this menace may affect the future of our girls. Please help us. Thanks from Unuwa Majinim. Thank you very much for sending that one in. The numbers to call to be a part. Good evening to you. As does the police have... I don't understand what you're trying to say here. Please, if you don't mind sending in this message again, please. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, Bridget. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
You could call it. Bridget, you know that a pastor was caught today, with somebody's wife.
Today here
in the
where?
Here in the greater with somebody's wife.
Where? When? How? Why?
Today with somebody's wife. He's sleeping with somebody's wife. They got
Who caught them?
The people now, the husband of the woman. And
how? Was he informed or something? Give us the full story.
Not informed, I'm telling you. That when the pastor have been doing this thing with this woman or this wife, today the information went and down. The husband have to lay this what they call it, lay the strike with the young men. They have to lie low somewhere, and when the pastor now, when the woman go in, you go and enjoy herself with the pastor now, they were caught red-handed. They bet with the man today. They bet with him today. So the man was fully dirty today. I was also when they were dealing with the man, I wasn't happy.
Ikuku, you weren't happy.
But the way they treated it like a common criminal, but
okay.
That is what.
Because I know you, and I knew you were calling in because of that pastor's issue that I made mention of, and then you are giving me another pastor's issue. Thank you very much, Ikuku.
Wait.
I'm listening.
In the area of Ross Park, it's a welcome development. I don't know whether they are going to dispatch it to every local government of this local government, or they are going to restrict it within that area they have. I would like them to come, let them come and let them walk within all the, even if possible, the whole river state. Let them walk around. And I want to use the opportunity to tell them that they should not lay hand on any innocent soul. But those criminals, let them not even hand them over to police. Let them slaughter them immediately. So that is the only thing we do.
All right.
So,
thank you very much, Ikuku, for your report. 95.1 FM, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. In Durham.
Endurance, good to hear from you. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Port.
All right, Andy, go ahead.
The issue of this issue is 25 billion naira.
Mm-hmm.
And for those, let me say, 6 persons want to share 4 billion naira. You see, there is what I want to tell the people. They should remember the past. Because of money, they almost finished themselves. And now, they have started again because of money. This is the same chief. The same time, the first time was the same chief. They almost finished themselves. And now, the same chief already...
Well, it was, something must kill a man that called in to give the story. He didn't specify who exactly it was. Were you there?
What something must kill a man said is true.
Okay.
You hear me?
Okay.
A friend of mine have told me that there is something that wants to pay them money, huge amount of money, that he believes that his own, their own family is going to receive huge amount of money.
Oh.
But now, so finally I confirmed it's a very huge, at least 25 billion naira. So my advice to them, they should do things the way it's supposed to be, instead of them to cause problem for themselves. You understand?
Right.
Because now they will form a fashion. This fashion will believe this fashion. This fashion will believe this fashion. Before they will start to fight. So for them to fight, let them set peace. That the money will go where the money is supposed to go. And let the state governments to put eye
to make peace for them.
Put
You understand?
Okay.
That they will have peace. Instead of before you know, these people will start to believe this Iceland, these people will start to believe this, and the two group now will start to clash, and they will start to kill themselves. So they should look away and make peace before something will happen. So for those people that want to eat that money, they should arrest them. That cartel, the six persons that want to eat that.
You know, the thing is that you don't even know what the four that is coming out is for, and well, we can't say much because we've not confirmed the story. It's just something must kill a man called him.
The second one, the second one we are talking about now is OSPAC in the Ikwere local government.
What happened?
Yes, it's a better development.
All right.
Welcome development. Please, because for me, the OSPAC is supposed to start, let me say, they should start that community named by Obodo and then Karahe, because I have stayed in Ishopo for 15 good years. I know everything. And I just left there, let me say, 1 week now, because I went to Beria. Yeah, what I saw with my eye, I cannot say. When you see somebody, civilian, carrying military gun, moving around everywhere, acting as if it's a security. Anyway, it's not security. And every day they are announcing kidnapping in that place. So for me, hospitals should start from those communities. That those who want to run away. And they should start from the chiefs. They should go and ask the chiefs. And the chiefs knows those boys. So thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution. Before we still have time on our side. And I said something earlier. I said, please, if you have any vocational training, vocational center in your community, please call in and let's know the state of things with the center. I would love to hear from you, any community at all, as long as you're within the South. Would love to hear from you. And I also told you about the Rural Electrification Agency that Mr. Onyi said something about the other time he came here. For those communities that have never seen electricity or pole or whatever it is from the onset, he sent something to me, and their head office is actually in Cross River State. They are in charge of the South. So that's where their office is located. But we also got a number you could actually reach out to. Okay, it's coming up. As soon as it comes up, I would share that number with you. So you could call or reach out to them. And if we could lay our hands on the address, you need to visit there for your community, probably yourself and your traditional rulers or your head of that in that particular community. If it's necessary, of course you can. But as soon as it comes up, I would be sharing that one with you. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Thank you. This is Comrade EUNS calling from Oshiapo in Onega.
Good to hear from you, Comrade EU. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, but yesterday one of my neighbor called in to complain about Ebada Road. That's almost Ebada Road.
Okay.
All he said was actually what happened. That road is so important to us. But let me remind him and other Onega citizens that this same road was awarded in 2015 to be constructed down to Imo State. That they then relate the one in the Ekewaya let the contractor that should pay him 30 million before you continue the road construction. This is the matching ground of the thing. So that was what made the contractor to abandon that job. But I believe that since P has returned to Onega, the contractor or any other contractor can pick up that job and at least do something that will benefit the people. The road to from almost to Mada down to and across to River State is very important road for us here in Onega.
Okay.
And this same problem is also what I reported to you earlier. I don't know why our people, when they are doing things that will benefit you, are going for matching grant, going for cola money. I don't understand. Instead of you to allow things, are they really knowing that you should be going for matching grant? So this issue of going for matching grant has caused us a lot of problems. So that should be stopped. I am very down that when I see people say give us matching grant, when they are doing things that will benefit you. So down that
The other area report I want to also give is about the secondary school. Now that it's raining, you can imagine that what they do is to put on slippers.
To put on what?
They put on slippers.
Okay.
Instead of stand by with their stockings, they put on slippers to cross the mud and then enter their class and change them on their stockings to be in the school mode. That is the environment. I don't know how picture of how that place looks like. So I'm begging, I'm calling on government to please attend to community secondary school. That environment is not for our children. It's not for it. Please, I'm begging, whoever can help us. And waiting, we don't know when we will receive light.
All right. Thank you very much, Comrade EU.
Thank you.
95.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Buchi.
Good evening to you. Welcome to Area Talk.
Buchi, please, I want to make some clarification. My name is George. Somebody called from Dumekme, and the person, sir, he has an information, and the rumor the woman, so also all of them, they are right. But let me tell you what happened in that road. Originally awarded that road. It was abandoned, and Amechi awarded that road by Gifcon Nigeria Limited. And when Gifcon came, the Rumodogo people said that road must come from the east-west road because they are close to the east-west road. But the Rumewa people and the Rumuji people told them that road was having an existing plan. Understand? That road was having an existing plan from Rumuji to connecting to Rumewa. And by then, as I'm talking to you, they are hearing me. My grandfather was the Royal Highness of the place. Okanezini Simono was the Royal Highness. I'm a palace man. I've been in palace. I know what happened there. So when the thing was coming to a fracas, the issue was coming, conflict was coming. Now, we now have a meeting to tell them that if they did not construct this road from north, that the government is going to abandon the road. The Gifcon, what he did with his reason, he started the road from Rumuji to Rumewo community. Because when you get to Rumewo community, you still get to Rumodogo. And when the Rumodogo people, I don't want to mention it, was the idea of two of our sons who brought the idea that we should not do violence, that road is going to come. And that road, the cost of that road was 2.8 billion naira. And what really happened is the government did not pay all the money. They paid 1.something billion, remaining 1 billion naira.
All right.
So I am urging the River State government to make sure that those documents and the Ministry of Transport, they are there, they are everywhere. They should look into the matter and make sure that the Rumudogo and other community in other clan will have roads. That is just my stake there. Thank you.
Okay. George. 95.1 FM.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
My name is Billy from Ahoda East community.
Believe, welcome to the program. How are you today?
Fine.
All right, go on.
I've been complaining, my area talk, I've been complaining for our roadside, for Itaha community. There is anti-cultism, they are disturbing the road.
Anti-cultism?
Directing people, anti-cultism. They used to carry people from the road. You will pay not less than 50,000, 100,000. You start nothing, doing nothing. Why can't government to come our area? The poor people, person that in mother self never even have 5 naira. Anti-cultism will carry you go and pay 30,000, 50,000. They should help us. They should start. Where there are crises, they should go there.
Where is this again?
And carry. Hello?
Where?
Itaha community.
Okay.
That is what is happening. They used to come there every week, every morning. They carry people, boys from on top of bike. I myself, I'll be one of the victims. And I explained to them that I'm a chief priest of my family. They say nothing like that. They use that.
You are what? You are what?
I'm a chief priest of my family. They molest me. So the way they are doing is not good. Thank you.
That's anti-cultism. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
Yeah, it's Emenike from Delhi.
Emenike, welcome. Emenike, go ahead.
So there's no problem at Delhi. You see, I'm smiling, I'm laughing. Our life is on. So there's no problem, no court problem, nothing, no police problem. So we are enjoying ourselves here.
Thank God.
And I want to remind you that I've not heard from Ogoyi. You should try now. I don't know if I forwarded my number to you.
Well, I did. I believe probably he will get to you. That's sure.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much, Emenike, for calling in. And I'm glad there's no police issue, no nothing issue. Good evening.
I forgot something.
Okay.
The NDBC road I told you about last week.
Is this Comrade UNS?
Yes, Comrade UNS.
Okay.
The Omoku Oshiapu Eleta road. Please, Buchi, I don't know how we place this. The contractor should please help us. I am begging. He should please help us. The area from Oshiapu Eleta is not a good job. What they are doing there is not a good job. That area needs to be stone based.
Are they done?
It's a swampy area.
Are they done with it?
Huh?
Are they done with it, or they're still working on it, but it's a bit shabby?
Once they lay flat on it means all is done. There is nothing we can do about it again. So this is the right time for them to attend to that area. That area is a swamp. So you can't just lay asphalt on top and believe that the road will last for any 2 months or thereabout. This is the right time for them to do what is needful. And I believe that it's the responsibility of the community to see that things are done well for their own benefit, not doing the other way around.
Sure.
Please, I am begging MDDC, please call on that contractor. Please prevail on him to base those areas so that we can get a good road and be proud of what you are doing for the people of Oshiago and then later included.
All right.
Please, I'm begging them. Please.
All right. Thank you very much, Comrade EU Ernest, for that one. 95.1.
Sorry, endurance.
Endurance?
Yes. Gucci. Is for the rap man that called about this anti-corruption. Which is the problem we are having mostly in
Odo, right? Where?
The problem we are having in this river state is this anti, and they are using it to intimidate people.
All right.
You know what I mean? They are using it to intimidate people. If you went to see, they'll say anti-corruption, anti-this one. Before you will know, they will see you on the way and they will pick you. They will ask you, are you with your ATM? Or if you don't have money, you will stay there and they will pay you. They will pay you.
Has it happened to you before?
Yes, I've been a victim. Finally, I spent 10,000 naira for nothing sake. For nothing sake. And another thing I want to tell you, Uchi, please, if this park want to start to work fully in Ikore local government, mostly that is you see that is division police. They should not mingle with them because those boys having informants inside that police station. They have informants.
That's quite an allegation.
No, Buchi, I know what I'm telling you because I know what I'm telling you. I've been in Nishopo. You're not being in Nishopo. I've been in Nishopo for 15 years.
Even if you've been there for 100 years, that's quite an allegation.
Let me tell you, Buchi, what happened. When this crisis is happening, when these boys are coming out from the police station are not far. It's not up to a pool. Let me say, the nation is just like 30 meters. They have drinks. And they are saying all this and they are not doing anything. Even till now, okay, ask who are go to Ishoku and make an investigation. Whether if these things are happening, what the police station they are doing, what are they doing?
All right, Enderas, thank you very much. I'm sorry I had to let you go there. We have to go now. We are out of time. The address for to the Rural Electrification Agency for the South is number 63 Asari Eso Street, Calabar Cross River State, and the phone number to call is 07088611409. You get through to Engineer Thomas Inegbedion. You could also send a mail to INEGBEDIONTHOMAS Inegbedion Thomas at rea.gov.ng. That's Inebedion Thomas at rea.gov.ng. And once more, the number is 070-88-611-409. You get across to Engineer Thomas in Nebedion, and the address still remains number 63 Asari Esso Street, Calabar, Cross River State. Thank you very much. It's a Thursday and we won't be up until Monday. And I believe 1,000,001 things will be going on. For those that their blood are actually very hot now, please, you have to calm down. And during the weekend, please, whatever reports you get details of the report so you could share with us here on Area Talk on Monday. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for always tuning into Area Talk, for always tuning into Today 95.1 FM. Keep it locked down. My name is Buchi Rafua. The news update is coming up next. Good evening.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Good evening. Here is the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt, I am Buchi Rafua. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated Nigeria's support for the people of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, SADR, and their quest for self-determination and independence, according to a statement made available to newsmen by the President's Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina. Buhari, while speaking with the President on Sadr Brahim Ghali, who paid him a visit at the State House, said that Nigeria's position was in line with the several resolutions of the African Union and the United Nations on the matter. He also reassured him of Nigeria's commitment towards supporting the efforts of the AU and the UN in finding a lasting solution to the Sahrawi problem. Earlier, Ghali had congratulated Buhari on his re-election and the successful celebration of Democracy Day, and commending Nigeria's past support for Sadr and other liberation movements on the African continent. Ghali said the weight of Nigeria's support remained crucial to the final resolution of the continued colonization of his people. Former President of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, and his Ghanaian counterpart, John Kufuor, have tasked the African Union, AU, and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to act on the political situation in the West African country of the Republic of Benin. In a statement jointly signed by both former African leaders titled Statement on Situation in Republic of Benin and made available by Obasanjo's Special Assistant on Media, Kende Akinyemi, in Abeokuta, Ogun State on Thursday, the duo declared that there was need for the intervention in order to avoid escalation of the festering political crisis. The River State Police Command have paraded 20 suspected criminals, including 8 quarters, 3 kidnappers, 4 armed robbers, who allegedly have been terrorizing parts of the state. A correspondent Uchendu Ejo reports that the command also displayed 10 recovered cattle, 55 live ammunition, 82 cartridges, 3 pump-action guns, 5 magazines, 14 locally made pistols, 2 AK-47 rifles, fake $100 notes, 3 vehicles, and some chemical substances. Briefing newsmen at the police headquarters in Port Harcourt, the Commissioner of the Police, Usman Belal, said police officers of the Eagle Crack Squad stormed an uncompleted building in Eleme local government area of the state to rescue a kidnapped victim, while men of anti-kidnapping unit led by David Shadir trailed some other suspected kidnappers to their camp in Iboeche, where a victim was also rescued. CP Belal also disclosed that the command fought 3 armed robbery incidents and cattle rustling. The commission assured that the command have rejigged its strategy its strategy and repositioned its personnel for optimum productivity, saying that Rivers State shall no longer be conducive for criminals. Some of the suspects, including suspected car snatchers who spoke to newsmen during the parade, denied any involvement in the crime.
My friend called me that I should come and help him out that problem. So when I came out to Lumokoro Junction, two policemen now arrested me. I'm a student at Port Harcourt College. They say that I connect with these boys to go and I know them. They're my friends, but I didn't go and steal any vehicle. I'm studying in Port Harcourt here.
We went out on Sunday. That was around 10 or 11. And we were exhausted. There was no cab for us to go home. So she said she had a friend. Actually, a guy drove out and took her. So we pleaded that she take us, all of us together. So we went straight. She dropped us. The guy dropped four of us together. Then we left. The next morning they called us that she called that the guy that dropped the vehicle in her place, that the guy is not around with her, and she's going out.
A kidnapped victim, Joy Johnson, has narrated her ordeal in the hands of her abductors who kidnapped her in Port Harcourt and took her to a forest in Iboiche in the local government area of Rivers State. The 42-year-old Johnson said she was taken to different camps by kidnappers who also used her ATM card to withdraw all the money in her bank account. Johnson said the criminals had demanded for a ransom of 100 million naira, but later reduced it to 1.5 million naira after she was maltreated and left without food for 3 days. One of the suspects, identified as Caleb Duru, linked to the abduction, denied any involvement in the crime. The Rivers State University has said that there is no going back on the movement of faculties of social sciences and humanities to the proposed Auda campus of the university. Vice Chancellor of Rivers State University, Professor Blessing Didia, gave this indication while granting audience to the chairman of Auda East Council of Traditional Rulers, King Felix Otuwaripo, in Port Harcourt. Professor Didia said the management of the university was working with relevant stakeholders in the area to create the enabling environment for smooth teaching and learning when the campus is ready.
The Ahuda campus has been decreed and signed by the governor. I have been able to go there and see the site. Right now, they are drawing up all the architectural things that will be there so that the government can start constructing what it is. But on our own part here, we have been working hard, knowing that once government finishes whatever they will construct there, we will be required to move immediately. So we have established the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences to be the first to move to Ahoda. So what we are doing here is to strong those faculties. I have no doubt that to be a peaceful place, once we move in there, we'll work with everybody and make sure that things will work out well.
In the meantime, the chairman of Auda East Council of Traditional Rulers, King Felix Otuwaripo, said the traditional institution in Ekpeye has put machinery in motion to ensure early commencement of academic activities at the Auda campus. And on the foreign scene, the United Nations has warned that the world cannot afford a major confrontation in the Gulf as international concern grow over suspected attacks on commercial ships near the Strait of Hormuz. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, while speaking at the Security Council meeting, denounced Thursday's incident and strongly condemned any attack against civilians in the incident. He further added that facts surrounding the suspected attacks must be established and responsibilities clarified. The reported attack in the Gulf of Oman off the coast of Iran left one ship ablaze and both adrift, forcing scores of crew to abandon the ships. Although details of what happened are still scarce, the incidents, which were the second in a month near the strategic Strait of Hormuz, a major waterway for world oil supplies, came amid heightened frictions between the United States and Iran. And that's all we have for you tonight on the news update here on Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. I am Buchi Rafua. Stay tuned.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Insecurity has become a common factor in our general language within the Nigerian space, no doubt. Not only has it become a threat, it has begun taking diverse dimension we cannot ignore, where cultism spreads and breeds evil in its every wake. A solution we seek. A desire to stop the trend is imminent. And as your number one talk station, we have taken the challenge to champion this discourse and prefer solutions. Join us at our Anti-Cultism Summit on the 6th of July at 9 a.m. Be part of the solution.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Good morning, sir.
My pikin, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, sir.
You dey go school?
Yes, sir.
Make sure say you read.
Madam, please, can I have one small juice and 2 biscuits there? Please be fast.
Okay, customer, pay no vex. I dey come, make a bring them.
Let me talk.
No, you're late. You're late already.
Plantain, buy plantain.
See as this small girl dey cross this busy road anyhow.
Sweet plantain.
So, your mama no know say you too young to dey hawk?
Now one for mama, oh. I beg, come on for road, make I cross road.
Made in China.
Oh, buy your plantain.
Leave the road.
The fact that you're not financially buoyant doesn't mean that you should abuse your child. Most times, these children don't have the capacity or knowledge to carry on the tasks. Education, they say, is an important aspect in a child's life. So do well not to take away that opportunity from them, as it will affect them later in the future. Remember that giving out your child for early marriage could also affect the child's life. So stop child trafficking. Avoid sending them out in the name of making money, because the children today are the leaders of tomorrow. Don't ruin their future with your ignorance. Say no today to child abuse. Say no today to child trafficking. Say no today to child marriage. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM.
We are the future. We are the dream. We are the nation. We are part of this. Yes, we are so amazing. That's the least we shall be.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You're welcome to the program. Let's talk. Flood has become a major issue in our society. Was there no proper drainage done for this flood? For this flood to be done? And it gets me thinking.
You see how difficult it is for them. Not all hosts know about the game. Hello and welcome to your number one news and talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. We've got loads of news and gossip for you. But first off, let's go on a commercial break.
Radio has never been this good. Today,
glad you know now.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contributes to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
Today 95.1 FM.
Good
Good morning.
My name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling you from. Hello?
Yes, today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
My name is William. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, relax from Port Harcourt. Go ahead.
Talk radio.
You have a right to say no, right? All
I'm
right.
calling from Unipua.
Okay, thank you so much from Yenagua.
We are the station that needs no introduction. Of course, you know, we give the best in news, sports.
You like football, right?
Entertainment, politics. In fact, call it talk. Yes, we know there's a lot you want to hear, and that is why we talk about everything.
Talk radio.
We're right before you. It's just a dial away. This is your number one premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contributes to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
91 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about.
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
It's that time on radio. Let's take you into the life and times of men and women who inspire, role models who have shaped the world.
Olusegun Matthew Okikiola Aremu Obasanjo was a former Nigerian Army general and former president of Nigeria from the year 1999 to 2007 and was born on the 5th of May 1937. Obasanjo was a career soldier before serving twice as the nation's head of state and also serving as a military ruler from the 13th of February 1976 to the 1st of October 1979 and also as a democratically elected president from 29th of May 1999 to the 29th of May 2007. He was born to his father Amos Agidun Obasanjo Bankole and his mother Ashabi in Abeokuta, Ogun State in Nigeria, and his mother and father died in 1958 and 1959 respectively, making him an orphan at the age of 22. In 1948, Obasanjo enrolled into St. David Ebenezer School at Ibogun for his primary school education, and from 1952 to 1957 he attended Baptist Boys High School at Abeokuta for his secondary school education. In 1958, Olusegun Obasanjo joined the Nigerian Army and received training in Nigeria and abroad. One of such trainings and studies included Defense Services Staff College, Wellington in India, where he attended in 1965, and where the Commandant's confidential reports on Obasanjo on the 20th Staff Court set in 1965 quoted that he was the best officer who was set at the time from Nigeria, also stating that he was particularly popular in all circles. He had a 21-year military career, which included serving in the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the former Zaire and commanding the 3rd Marine Commando Division during Nigeria's 30th month Biafra civil war. War, which lasted from 1967 to 1970. And on the 12th of January 1970, Obasanjo accepted the Biafran surrender, ending the Nigerian Civil War. Also from 1970 to 1975, he was the commander of the Engineering Corps of the Nigerian Army, meaning that earlier in 1972, he was promoted to the rank of Brigadier General. And from 1970 to 1975, he was the commander of the Engineering Corps of the Nigerian Army, meaning that earlier in 1972, he was promoted to the rank of Brigadier General. And by January 1975, the head of state for the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Yakubu Gowon, made Obasanjo the Federal Commissioner for Works and Housing to oversee the development of housing, highways, roads, bridges, electrical and street lighting in the country following the oil boom. Also in 1975, when General Murtala Mohammed took power as head of state via a military coup, Obasanjo was appointed as the Chief of Staff Supreme Headquarters, and in January 1976, he was promoted to Lieutenant General. It should be noted that following a failed coup by Lieutenant Colonel Dimka, in which General Murtala Mohammed was killed, Obasanjo was chosen as the head of state by the Supreme Military Council, and by the 13th of February 1976, had resigned as the head of state and the Nigerian Army. Following a failed military coup by Lieutenant Colonel Dimka, in which General Murtala Mohammed was killed, Obasanjo was chosen as the head of state by the Supreme Military Council on the 13th of February 1976, and also he resigned as the head of state and the Nigerian Army on the 1st of October 1979, thereby handing power to the newly elected civilian president, Shehu Shagari. While still in service, the military regime of Obasanjo benefited from oil revenues that increased, and this increased oil revenues permitted his government spending for infrastructure development and improvement on a large scale. Also notable is the fact that the Obasanjo-led government relocated the federal capital from Lagos to Abuja, a more central location in the interior of the country, because it was not identified with any particular ethnic group. It is also recorded that as an expansion of agricultural production and industrialization boomed in the 1970s when Obasanjo was in power, despite many infrastructural constraints, and the Nigerian Enterprises Promotion Decree of 1977 further encouraged the growth of an indigenous middle class. During his tenure, Obasanjo was able to establish a steel mill in Ajokuta in Kogi State with Soviet assistance. Education also expanded under Obasanjo, and at the start of the Civil War, there were only 5 universities, but by 1975, the number had increased to 13, with 7 more to be established over the next several years. Similar advances were also made in primary and secondary school education, during which the universal primary school education was introduced nationwide. It is also recorded that during the regime of Sani Abacha, that was between 1993 to 1998, Obasanjo spoke against the human rights abuse of the regime and was imprisoned for alleged participation in an aborted coup based on testimony via torture, and was released after Abacha's sudden death on the 8th of June 1998. And in that same year, he founded the African Leadership Forum. On the 29th of May 1999, Obasanjo took office as the first elected and civilian head of state in Nigeria after 16 years of military rule, and that today is now commemorated as the Democracy Day, which is a public holiday in Nigeria. Obasanjo spent most of his first time traveling abroad as president, where he succeeded in winning at least some Western support for strengthening Nigerians' nascent democracy. Obasanjo also won international praise for Nigeria's role in crucial regional peacekeeping missions in Sierra Leone and Libya. From July 2004 to January 2006, Obasanjo also served as the chairperson of the African Union, and by June 12, 2006, he signed the Green Tree Agreement with Cameroonian President Paul Biya, which formally put an end to the Bakassi Peninsula border dispute. With the already existing oil revenue, Obasanjo created the Niger Delta Development Commission and implemented the Universal Basic Education Program to enhance the literacy level of Nigerians. It should be noted he constituted both the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and resuscitated the National Fertilizer Company in Kaduna and Oner, Port Harcourt. Before Obasanjo's administration, Nigeria's GDP growth had been painfully low since 1987. However, under Obasanjo, the growth rate doubled to 6% until he left office. Also, Nigeria's foreign reserves at the time rose from $2 billion in 1999 to $43 billion on leaving office in 2007. He was able to secure debt pardons from the Paris and London Club amounting to some $18 billion and paid another $18 billion to be debt-free. Most of these loans should should be noted, were accumulated from short-term trade arrears during the exchange control period. After presidency, he became chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, but voluntarily resigned in the year 2012, April, and was appointed special envoy by the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to the war-torn Democratic Republic of Congo, where he held separate meetings with DRC President Joseph Kabila and rebel leader Laurent Nkunda. Olusegun Obasanjo served as AU observation head while leading a delegation of African Union election observers. Judging from his historic making roles in Nigeria, it would be safe to state that Olusegun Obasanjo has managed to remain relevant in Nigerian politics till date.
Personality profile. Now you know.
I get sick when I'm far away from you for so long. I lose sleep when I can't get you on the phone. And it's killing me, baby. Oh, I'm missing you, baby. Please don't stay away. I need you every day. What we share, it is so rare, it can be bought. Come home, please, baby. Let's kiss and talk all night. Cause I'm missing you, baby. And it's killing me, baby. Please don't stay away. I need you every day. Baby, oh baby, you're like medicine to me. You give me everything I need. Baby, oh baby, you're like medicine to me. You give me everything I need. My heart bleeds every time we fight and you wear a frown. And I smile every single time you come around. Can't do without you. I built my whole world around you. Please don't go away. I need you every day. Oh, your words, they have a way to steal my heart. And your smile is the medicine that cures my doubt. Oh, my beautiful baby, wrap your loving around me. Please don't stay away. I need you every day. Baby, oh baby, you're like medicine to me. You give me everything I need. Baby, you're like medicine to me. You give me everything I need. Baby, oh baby, you're like medicine to me. You give me everything I need. Baby, oh baby, you're like medicine to me. You give me everything I need. Baby, oh baby, you're like medicine to me. Give me everything I need. Sweetie, oh baby, medicine for me. Give me everything I need. Yeah. Baby, oh baby, you're like medicine, medicine, medicine to me. Give me everything I need. Baby, I can't do without you. You give me everything I want, everything I need. Yeah. Like medicine to me. You give me everything I need. Baby, oh baby, you're
oh. And I love her and I like her and I wanna take her home. So we go dance and we go jolly and we go party like 99. Oh, she baby no shandy. I want you to be my honey. I want you to be my lady. Come make we dance with the spray us money. She be some cliff shandy. And too easy no shandy. Dance to the beat, no the slap my baby. Go below my lady. Oh yeah, funke. Bakuruma, kojo dada. Alima, bakuruma, kojo dada. Olari, bakuruma, kojo dada. Folake, bakuruma, yeah, bakuruma, kojo dada. Funke, bakuruma, kojo dada. Alima, bakuruma, kojo dada. Olari, bakuruma, yeah, bakuruma, kojo dada. Folake, bakuruma, yeah, bakuruma, kojo dada. Money ni, modeji. Lọ́ba ní òní ló máa mú ọ̀la ló máa mú má ṣe fòyà. Oh, money ni, modeji. Lọ́ba ní òní ló máa mú ọ̀la ló máa mú má ṣe fòyà. Ìjó ń bẹ lẹ́sẹ̀ rẹ̀ o bèbí. Ìwọ ṣá máa jó láì fẹsẹ̀ kọ́ bèbí. Ìjó ń bẹ lẹ́sẹ̀ rẹ̀ o bèbí. Ìwọ ṣá máa jó láì fẹsẹ̀ kọ́ bèbí. The way you why you go my. I love the way you why, girl you go my. The way you why you go my. I love the way you why, girl you go my. She baby no shandy. I want you to be my honey. I want you to be my lady. Come make we dance to the spray us money. She be some cliff shandy. And too easy no shandy. Dance to the beat, no the slap my baby. Go below my lady. Oh yeah, funke. Bakuruma, kojo dada. Alima, bakuruma, kojo dada. Dolari, bakuruma, kojo dada. Folake, bakuruma, yeah, bakuruma, kojo dada. Funke, bakuruma, kojo dada. Alima, bakuruma, kojo dada. Dolari, bakuruma, yeah, bakuruma, kojo dada. Folake, bakuruma, yeah, bakuruma, kojo dada. Alhaji M.O. Balogun, Akiyo, ẹná mi lówó, gómìnà mi Fáṣọlá, bàbá Àríyó, ẹná mi lówó, Mrs. J.M. Balogun, mo rí yó, ẹná mi lówó, Mr. Wellington, Akiyo, ẹná mi lówó, spray me the money.
Spells on the beat. Tiwa Savage on this one, yeah. Whiskey, do you want mama? Make it animals to tingle.
This kind thing I never see, yo. My pressure, they high got me down, whoa, whoa. My girl, hold on to me, yo. Never ever leave me for crash, oh, whoa, whoa. Girl, you they make me shiver, oh. Girl, if you leave us over, oh. With you, I get no holla, oh. I want day with you forever, oh.
Robos casca. If no be you, then tell me who. Them go sempe. Nobody messing with my boo. Robos casca. If no be you, then tell me who. Robos casca. Nobody messing with my boo.
My love, duh. You give me love I never see, yo. My love, duh. Your love means so much to me, yo. My love, duh. You give me love I never see, yo. My love, duh. Your love means so much to me, yo.
No be what you do or what you say, my love is single, no be plural, yeah. Brother, no be mount, but my baba, you be cool, yeah. Bonnie and Clyde, that's how I feel when I'm rolling with you. Number one, the African bad girl, and the star boy, you know how we do. Mwah, baby, you scatter my heart, you. And you load my account, you see I no go come out, you.
My love, duh. You give me love I never see, yo. My love, duh. Your love means so much to me, yo. My love, duh. You give me love I never see, yo. My love, duh. Your love means so much to me, yo.
Robo skeske. If no be you, then tell me who. Them go sempe. Nobody messing with my boo. Robo skeske. If no be you, then tell me who. Robo skeske, robo yeske. Nobody messing with my boo. I never seen this kind of feeling. This love I believe in, yeah. Something about this feeling, yeah.
My love, Joe, you give me love I never see, yo. My love, Joe, your love means so much to me, yo. My love, Joe, you give me love I never see, yo. My love, Joe, your love means so much to me, yo. Me love.
It's that time on radio. Let's take you into the life and times of men and women who inspire, role models who have shaped the world.
Let me take you through a journey of Nigeria's nationalism. Do you know who the founder of Nigeria's nationalism was? He's sometimes acclaimed as the Gandhi of West Africa. He was a man of many parts, a civil engineer, a surveyor by training, a civil servant, a politician, an editor, a journalist, an accomplished violinist, a historian, and wait for it, an ex-convict, the founding father of Nigeria's nationalism. He helped to lay the foundation of modern Nigeria and contributed to the shaping of popular perceptions of a modern nation and its obligations to the public. In addition, he maintained an abiding interest in the history and concerns of Black people throughout the world. Herbert Olayinka Samuel Healers Badmus Macaulay. That's a mouthful, right? He was born in Lagos on the 14th of November 1864 to Thomas Babington Macaulay and Abigail Crowther, children of people captured from what is now present-day Nigeria and resettled in Sierra Leone by the British West African Squadron and eventual returnees to Nigeria. Thomas Babington Macaulay was one of the sons of Ojo Oraire, while Abigail Crowther was the daughter of Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther, a descendant of King Abiodun. Thomas Babington Macaulay was the founder of the first secondary school in Nigeria, the CMS Grammar School, Lagos, between 1869 and 1877. Macaulay attended Breadfruit School, Lagos, and Faji School, Lagos, for his elementary education from 1877 to October 1880. He attended CMS Grammar School, Lagos, for his secondary school after going to a Christian missionary school. From childhood, young Herbert Macaulay learned the importance of a sound education, patriotism, and of course Christian values. However, his grandparents and parents also believed in the importance of indigenous Yoruba cultural values and of working within the larger culture around them. Like many later Pan-Africanists, they advocated the intelligent selection of progressive values and institutions from westernized Christianity and African society. Coming from such a family, he must have experienced a lot of pressure to enter the clergy, but he rejected this career in favor of a more worldly career. He took a job as a clerk at the Lagos Department of Public Works in 1881. In July 1890, the government sent him abroad for further training under G.D. Bellamy of Plymouth. 3 years later, he qualified as a civil engineer, the first Nigerian in this profession. On his return to Lagos, the government made him a surveyor of Crown lands in Lagos. However, he soon became dissatisfied with the conditions of his employment. Like many of his African colleagues, he hated the two-tier system then existed in government service, whereby British civil servants enjoyed better
better conditions and much higher salaries than Africans. Thus, in 1898, Macaulay decided to go into private practice as a licensed surveyor and architect. His practice, however, was not very successful. Constantly in financial distress, he took advantage of his position as executor of the estate of a family dependent from which he misappropriated funds. Unfortunately, this act became known to the authorities and he was tried and sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. While many sympathized with him because of the extenuating circumstances of his large extended family, this event meant that he could never become a candidate for public office. Now, barred from elective public office, Macaulay made his mark in politics through journalism and political organizations and various advisory capacities. Between 1890 and 1927, he was a frequent contributor to the Nigerian Chronicle. In 1927, Macaulay joined forces with his friend Dr. John Akilade Colcrick, a physician and politician, to buy the Lagos Daily News, the first daily newspaper in British West Africa. Founded in 1925, Macaulay decided on political tone of the paper. This provided his platform for his battles against the government and his African political opponents. During the 1920s, a period in Nigerian history associated with the beginning of political agitation for self-rule, Macaulay became a leading figure in the first generation of Nigerian nationalists. In 1921, Macaulay passionately led protests in Lagos over water rates, land issues, and mishandling of railway finances. In 1922, he helped a Lagos chief in his legal battle with the colonial government, who had forcefully taken some of his land for government purposes. The highest court in England heard the case and returned the land to the chief. This victory inspired Macaulay to establish in 1923 Nigeria's first political party, the Nigerian National Democratic Party, whose members were the first to sit in the Legislative Council. The NNDP was the first well-organized political party in Commonwealth West Africa. Its motto was Salus Populi Suprema Lex. The safety of the people is the greatest law. Its candidates won all the elective seats in the Nigerian legislature between 1923 and 1938. For fear that government might take action against him, Macaulay refused to hold any party office until 1930s. But in Lagos, there was no doubt that he was the driving force and real power behind the scenes. He maintained close ties with the first executive councils and was always present at NNDP public meetings. Further, he had extensive links with the masses of Lagosians through their traditional popular associations, particularly the Market Women Union and many vocational unions. He encouraged market women and elite women to take part in party activities, including speaking at its meetings. In 1931, relations with Macaulay and the British began to improve up to the point that the governor held conferences with Macaulay. In October 1938, the more radical Nigerian youth movement fought and won elections for the Lagos Town Councils, ending the dominance of Macaulay and his National Democratic Party. In order to avoid the demise of the party, Macaulay's NNDP joined forces with the Nigerian youth movement to form the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, NCNC. The NCNC, led by Macaulay, was not set out to be a political party. It was more of a nationalist organization designed to advocate for an independent Nigeria. In August 1944, however, he saw the leadership and strategy of the National Council of Nigeria and Cameroons, NCNC, offered brilliant prospects in the struggle for self-government. Although many of his colleagues in the NNDP executive disagreed with him, he carried the day when he threatened to resign if they did not agree to enter into a coalition of interest groups. Nnamdi Azikiwe, the dynamic leader of the NCNC then, capitalized on Macaulay's decision to join the party. At this time, Macaulay was 80 years old, but still appeared physically strong and mentally alert. But his insistence in undertaking a strenuous campaign against the constitutional proposals of 1945 proposed by Governor Richards taxed his strength. While on the national tour, he suffered an acute attack of rheumatism and was forced to return to Lagos, where he died on 7th of May 1946. Huge crowds, estimated variously between 100,000 and 200,000, turned out in the streets to mourn, and all the markets closed for 2 full days. The leadership of the NCNC went to Azikiwe, who later became the first president of Nigeria. Macaulay was buried at Ikoyi Cemetery in Lagos, course, on 11th of May 1946, Nnamdi Azikiwe delivered a funeral oration at Macaulay's burial ceremony. As is customary among the Yoruba, when a distinguished leader dies at an advanced age, his funeral became the occasion for a prolonged celebration of a life well lived and public service well acclaimed. He was survived by 2 children, Sarah Abigail Ido Macaulay and Oliver Ogedengbe Macaulay.
Personality profile. Now you know.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the world news on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
At the end of it all, the positives were more than the negatives. I'm talking about the Super 6 that ended in Lagos, Nigeria on Wednesday. Yes, the best of Nigerian football exhibited. It is no longer news that Eyimba Football Club, alongside Kano Pillars, will be representing Nigeria in the prestigious CAF Champions League, and Rangers International in the CAF Confederation Cup. One more to go. That should come from the FA Cup that is ongoing at about now. Congratulations to the Super Falcons of Nigeria, but can they cross the big hurdle? Yes, that will be posed by the French national team. We'll get to find out on Monday. Welcome to the show, Global Sports Update. My name is Godwin Enakena. Over to you, Paul Johnson.
Thank you so very much, Godwin. Still very much in the mood of the Super 6. Yes, I'm so glad and I'm very impressed with how my club side, Enugu Rangers, made it to the continent after all the very big obstacles and the tough opposition that they have to face. Congratulations to the People's Elephants of Aba, but then congratulations to my team and the Flying Antelopes of Enugu for making us proud. All right, it is still the time for us to give you another day of countdown. 8 days to go to the African Cup of Nations. What is the story that is making round? First of all, before we go into the focus of today, the biggest story from the Cup of Nations team that have qualified and their warm-up games is that of Tunisia. Yes, they are setting themselves up to become the team to beat. And I know you already know it. They beat World Cup runners-up Croatia 2-1 yesterday in a friendly in Croatia last night. Are they ready? Their coach, Maher Kanzari, says they are not getting ahead of themselves. What is in his mind and the team's mind is about getting ahead of other Group E opponents and making it to the next round. And this Group E, it includes firepower of Mali and that of Angola as the key rivals that they have to face, and also get good results over them in order to ensure a round of 16 tickets. And then our today's focus on the countdown for the African Cup of Nations has to be, guess who? Yes, it is a team and not an individual. In fact, a whole nation it is. This time, we fly to the North African region to present to you the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia. Well, not the whole team history, as you may well think. Here we are bringing you their historic 2004 team that won their first ever Cup of Nations and their only Cup of Nations triumph till date. Don't forget, Tunisia started playing the Cup of Nations even before Nigeria entered the Cup of Nations party. They first participated in 1962, while Nigeria participated in 1963 for the first time. And like we know, majority of the past Cup of Nations winners, they won their first trophy while hosting it, a category in which our own beloved Nigeria also falls into it. But then for Tunisia, in also trying to do so, they hosted the Cup of Nations twice in 1965 and then in 1994. On both occasions, they were beaten to the trophy by other countries. first by Ghana in 1965 and again by Nigeria in 1994. Yes, we can't forget that. 10 years after this country, they tried once again, but vowed that this time around, they will do everything possible to ensure nothing but victory and trophy is assured. Now, how can that be done? First, they had to open their central bank and hire one of the biggest names in the coaching world, a man who had won the European Cup and the FIFA Confederations Cup in 2000 and 2001 with France. Roger Lemaire is the name. And I tell you, that is like hiring Vicente Del Bosque of Spain or Pep Guardiola to coach an African team, if we are putting it in the present football situation. And after hiring Roger Lemaire, Tunisia had to do something that is not usually seen in African football stories. Two Brazilians who were born and brought up in Brazil were called up to be part of their operation to win the African Cup of Nations by all means. These two men were striker Francisco dos Santos, who was a 24-year-old player at the time, and Jose Clayton, an attack-minded left fullback who was also in his late 20s. Added to the experience and star power of players like Hatem Trabelsi, Karim Hagui, Riyad Jaidi, and a host of other squad members, their squad for the mission impossible was set and ready to go. They had to face underdogs Rwanda in their opening fixture on January 24th. It was an easy walk, but nearly a banana skin, saved by the winning goal of their Brazilian imports, Dos Santos. Tunisia won that encounter 2-1 in front of 65,000 fans. Against Congo in their second game, Roger Lemaire ensured his men were more emphatic, scoring 3 unreplied goals to earn another 3 points. Once again, Dos Santos was on target. This time, he weighed in with 2 goals in the game to settle the encounter. Guinea, a team inspired by former Liverpool man Titi Camara, they proved a tough nut to crack as they held the Tunisians to a 1-1 draw. Titi Camara, of course, scoring the equalizer. Up next in the quarterfinal for the Tunisian Carthage Eagles was a game against Senegal, solitary goal of Jawar Nari that ensured the Tunisians went to the semi-finals. Nigerian Super Eagles were their next hurdle and the biggest they had to face throughout the Cup of Nations. Led by Nigerian stars Jeje Okocha, Kanu Nwankwo, the Tunisians knew only the God of soccer can save them, and that God truly came to their rescue. Luck on the Tunisian side, they triumphed over Nigeria via penalty shootout and made it to their 3rd Cup of Nations final appearance, this time to face rivals Morocco. To them, they can't come this far and lose to their North African bitter rivals. And guess who scored? Their Brazilian import once again, Francisco dos Santos. This Brazilian justified every game time and every money given up to bring him into the side. It was the time of striker Ziad Jaziri to step up and justify his inclusion, and he did so, burying the winner in the 52nd minute, not long after the resumption of the second half. They held on as underdogs to win their first ever Cup of Nations in front of their home fans, and like Nigerians will say, they never expected it. Like a dream, it came to pass. The Tunisian 2004 Cup of Nations squad, they broke the jinx. They won the Cup of Nations for the first time for their country, albeit with the help from friendly nation, Brazil. Not surprising, Francisco dos Santos will later become one of the top scorers of the tournament alongside Nigerian star Jeje Okocha. And the reason why their love story with the 2004 Cup of Nations squad can never end until Tunisia win another Cup of Nations. Will it be in Egypt that they will do that this year? On paper, as well as by FIFA ranking, they stand a great chance. But what we know, the Cup of Nations is not a tournament treated with kid gloves. But then, a piece of history for you to also understand. Roger Lemaire, the Frenchman, is the only coach to win 2 national team trophies in 2 different continents with 2 different countries, France in 2000 and with Tunisia in 2004. I tell you, it is 8 days to go and we keep counting down the clock for the Cup of Nations to resume. Godwin Enahena takes over from me now.
Job done. And yesterday we brought you the first part of our interview with a veteran, a legend in this business of journalism, sport journalism precisely, Mumini Alao. The second part is what we're bringing you today. Now let's talk about the Super Eagles. The Nations Cup is just a little over a week from now in Egypt. Now some persons are saying if Ghana fails to deliver at the Nations Cup, definition could be winning the Nations Cup, it should be sacked. Are you of that opinion?
That's a difficult one, Godwin, because Nigeria has a very rich history when it comes to the Nations Cup. I am not of that opinion, just as I've just explained that I think he has done well so far, picking us from the floor, practically, because we didn't qualify for 2 Nations Cup back-to-back with our own coaches, all right? So I don't think it will be fair if we don't win the Nations Cup, because, hey, let's face it, at least 6 countries have the quality to win the Africa Cup of Nations. Egypt, when they are hosting, they've never lost it. That's why I wasn't happy when the tournament was taken away from Cameroon and given to Egypt. I wanted it to go to South Africa. We will have stood a better chance of winning it in South Africa. When Egypt are hosting, these North Africans, it's tough. When we won the Nations Cup in Tunisia in '94, that was a big achievement. All right. So Egypt will be the favorite. They are hosting, and they are one of the top teams in Africa. And Cameroon are there. They are defending champions. Okay. You have Senegal, who did very well at the last World Cup. You have Ghana, our traditional rivals. All right. So at least 5 other countries apart from Nigeria have the quality, have the experience, have the pedigree to win the Nations Cup. So it will be a thing of arrogance if Nigeria says if we don't win it, then we are failed. What do you mean? So if we get to the semi-finals, that's already success, because by the time you get to the semi-final, you're talking about the top 4 teams in Africa, and any of them will have the quality to win it. It's just like talking about the European Champions League. Okay, Liverpool won it this year, but Real Madrid had the quality, Barcelona had the quality, Juventus had the quality, Ajax had the quality to win it. All right.
Let me ask Mumini. I mean, for those who do not know, he's a Liverpool fan. I remember those days. I used to come with the mufflers, just mug everything. How did you celebrate Liverpool's victory in the UEFA Champions League?
Maybe I will disappoint you, Godwin. The title of my article the last time we won the Champions League was "The Triumph of Silence." All right, and it's the same thing that I did this year. All right, when we won in 2005 in Turkey, when we came back from 3 goals down against AC Milan to equalize and won on penalties, all through the competition, I didn't say anything to anybody because I didn't want anybody to jinx me, because I know if I celebrated too early, we may not win it. So I kept quiet until we won it, and then I wrote my article, Triumph of Silence. It was the same thing that I did this year, Godwin. I didn't celebrate too early because I knew there were too many enemies around me. Manchester United fans, waiting to celebrate our failure. So I didn't do any gra-gra. I waited until the final whistle. We won it, and then I celebrated quietly. Triumph of silence.
Now, Kelechi Iheanacho, it was the future of Nigerian football. What happened to him? He's not going to the Nations Cup. That is no longer news. What happened to the young man?
Well, I think a lot has been said about Kelechi, his attitude. A lot of people have said a lot of things about his attitude. I don't know about his attitude because I've never been close to him. I've never been close to him in camp. So I wouldn't know, what they mean by his attitude. But a lot of people have actually pointed to that. And if he has an attitude problem, then that's the biggest problem you can have as a sportsman. Because when you think you have arrived, you are finished. All right? Because sport is so competitive. It's so competitive. There are people waiting to take your shirt. Like it has happened to him now, he's not going to the Nations Cup. So if he really has an attitude problem, because his talent is not in doubt, all right? But I think Manchester City exposed him, to what I would call maybe something that was a bit beyond him. Let's face it, he was a young player when he got to Manchester City, and then they trusted him straight away into the limelight. A lot of nice things were happening around him. Balls were falling into place for him to just put in the net, and then he had this fantastic goal to match ratio, which I think probably got into his head. But if you really look at most of the goals they were scoring, they were tap-ins. A lot of brilliant players around him were doing all the work, and he was just putting the ball in the net. And when Guardiola came, Guardiola saw through him that he didn't have enough for the kind of standard that he was taking the club to, and you could see he was one of the first players to be asked. For me, that was the first signal, all right, that hey, maybe this guy is not as good as we thought. And especially if you come back home to Nigeria, he is one of the best that we have, so we will celebrate him. But at the level that Guardiola was operating at Man City, where he had all the money to buy all the best players from around the world, definitely Iheanacho is now one of the best strikers in the world. So he fell out from that place, and then he went to Leicester City, and his problem, started from there. He couldn't fit to the system there because I think they are a more physical side, than Man City. Man City, we all know, is a passing team, So he couldn't fit into the physicality of Leicester City. That's my own opinion. And if you don't have game time as a footballer, it's going to affect your performance. And I think that's what has now, translated into him not finding his place in the Super Eagles.
What must he do to come back?
Well, I think he will need to go back to Leicester City and have a heart-to-heart talk with the coach. He needs more game time, and if he's not going to get it, he will need to move on from that club. He might have to go to a lower club, all right, where he can play more regularly, and then his talent will shine through because he's actually really talented, all right? But if you are playing in a club where either the club is too big for you or you don't fit into the system, you're not going to get game time, and then it's going to continue to affect your career. So he has a big decision to make, all right? That's why a lot of players, when a club is looking for them, they want to meet the coach first and want to have at least some guarantee that they will get playing time. Because it's not just enough for you to be collecting all the dollars and sitting on the bench. It will affect your career, or so ultimately. So he needs to meet the coach. He was getting onto the bench, the last season. All right, he wasn't playing regularly. So if he can still put a little bit more work, I want to think from the bench he will be getting more play time. He needs to get more play time for him to resuscitate his career.
The sad story of Kelechi Iheanacho, the poster boy of Nigerian football. I hope he rises again and very quickly. Thank you so very much, Bunalao, for your time.
You are most welcome, Godwin. Thank you.
My name is Godwin Enakana. We'll do this again tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Opinion poll with Kalada.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Opinion poll with Kada.
Good evening to you. Thanks for staying tuned to Today 95.1 FM. I am Kala Da, and it is time for opinion poll on today's Connect here on Today 95.1 FM, your premium talk radio station. Welcome to another round of discussions. I've been listening keenly, or I listened keenly while I was away, and I listened to all the conversations you had on the show, and very interesting conversations, by the way. And I really do wish I was in the studio at the time the conversations were ongoing. First of all, I like to pop something. I don't know what I'm popping, but I like to pop something in celebration. Yes, join me as we drink in celebration of 20 years of democracy. Or really, are we really celebrating? Are we really in the mood of celebration? I mean, June 12th as Democracy Day has made so much noise, so many people calling Buhari, a national leader for doing that, clapping for him, applauding him. Others, a few, I believe, calling and saying, why would you shift it? Why would you shift it? And there's nothing that you would not get people who will dispute. But then again, it seemed to have cost a lot of it seemed to have gotten a lot of attraction. One thing comes to mind, by the way. June 12th, Democracy Day. What does June 12th symbolize? It symbolizes how we fought for our democracy. What does democracy stand for? It stands for government of the people, representing the people, government by the people. And when we look at our society today, I mean, there's bunkery, there's environmental hazards, there's Nkolu Junction where the road isn't good, there's schools with no teachers or students, or schools with no buildings and students with no learning materials. There's estimated billing in 2019, 20 years after we got independence from the military. We still are, we still look like we're not a democratic nation. We're not being ruled democratically, and it's a cause for concern. And the other thing that comes to mind is that when you look at June 12 as Democracy Day, when you look at June 12 as Democracy Day, you will realize that June 12, 1993, the elections was held, and a certain person was said to have won the elections or was acclaimed to have won the elections, and yet somehow there was a little bit of a brouhaha, there was a little bit of a dispute, a little bit of a chaos, and that resulted in cancellation and the military taking over. And so if we are saying June 12 is Democracy Day, then that means we are also agreeing to the fact that the 1993 elections, the held, that the person who was acclaimed to have won it actually did win it. So the people who usurped the government actually committed a treasonable offense, and they should be prosecuted. Don't you agree with me? I mean, Femi Falana argued a point, and I'm like, good point. But I don't know if you agree with me on that one, but I kind of feel that maybe they should be prosecuted. Every one of them who had, if we are celebrating democracy, like I said, if we are saying that democracy, the fight for democracy, the fight for the government of the people, by the people, and for the people started in June 12, 1993, then the people who usurped the government, the people who overthrew the government, the people who had, a hand in the collapse of that government should all actually be sent to jail. And thirdly, I saw the argument too, which I totally agree with, and it has to do with the fact that June 12, people who, oh my God, I'm a little bit distracted now. June 12. What was I gonna say now? I was gonna say, oh my God, I got a little bit distracted. Sorry about that. June 12. What was I gonna say? Interesting. Oh, my line of thoughts just disappeared all of a sudden. Oh my. Now I remember. I was going to say that if we still agree that June 12 is Democracy Day, then we should also agree that the person who was acclaimed to have won the elections that day in 1993 should also be referred to as the ex-president. I mean, his government was usurped, yes, but we should. I don't know what you think about that argument, but hey, it is the 13th day of June. We're not going to dwell on Democracy Day. As a matter of fact, Democracy Day seemed to have overshadowed a lot of issues that that was raised during the week. Democracy Day seemed to be, at the front burner, and all of the things were, taken to the back burner. One of those things was the, cut of mark released by Jam, and Jam, when it came out and said Jam score will now be 160. I mean, my God, are we actually getting better, or are we actually growing worse? I mean, you can grow both ways. You can grow positively, and you can also grow negatively. I mean, are we growing better, or are we growing worse? I mean, how can you, out of 400, you make the pass mark 160? How does that happen? In what society does that happen? I even had to go research how admissions are gotten in foreign countries, and it's not the same, and that is why our universities get rankings like 1,130 something in the world. How do we renovate or rejig or revamp or resuscitate the the educational sector, especially the tertiary institutions? And that's been an argument for so long a time. And now the bodies that we've given the responsibility, the bodies in which the honors lies, they're not even giving us palliatives, to calm our fears. But instead, they come out with 160. 160. And this is a statement of facts. 160 being the cut of mark is a statement of fact that the educational system, especially tertiary institution, is just another center, not for learning, basically. Not, maybe people do learn, but not for learning, basically, but for a place where you could go manufacture certificates. For a place where you could go get certificates irrespective of whether you have the content or not. And it's amazing how Nigerians, basically Africans, can be so innovative, emphasis on that word, can be so innovative to build an industry where we manufacture certificates. I mean, think about it. Very, very brilliant, intelligent idea. Very wonderful, wonderful idea to create, centers, industry. You can call it a factory where human beings go, and after 4 years, after 5 years, in some cases, after 2 years, they get certificates, for just attending. And then you can use those certificates to work in multinationals. And then yet you ask me, why do we have a poor economy? Knowledge is one of the fundamentals when you're talking about a society. A society without knowledge is a society that is not going to progress. But that being said, we need to move on to other relevant issues right about now. Let us see. Aha! 9 minutes gone past the hour of 9. And aha, yes, I'm shouting aha because I don't know. I'm not a civil servant. So I really wouldn't know how much you earn. So I don't know. But hey, what happened to the new national minimum wage? So I really want to know. Because I asked some corpers, I've been asking some corpers if they have been paid the 30,000 naira minimum wage. And no, really no. Everybody says no. It's still the same. Is it 18 something? I can't remember. But nobody knows when they will eventually pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage. And in as much as I'm not really a fan of the new minimum wage, because I'm more about, government using all of the monies that they actually are wasting to build those refineries and build those industries. You can build industries in the southeast. Those people who love to manufacture. You can build more industries in the southwest where we have certain, mineral resources. Of course, you can build those more refineries in the south, and, develop agriculture in the north. And you can imagine how wonderful. And of course, in the north still has gold and other, things that you can mine from the soil. And you can imagine how Nigeria is going to be great, how great Nigeria will be. But instead, the kind of NLC, the kind of labor unions we have would rather have them increase money. And now there is the talk of increasing VAT. And we who are not civil servants will also, now be affected by, the VAT and all of that stuff. But it's fine. But really, what's happening? What did you hear anything about the new minimum wage? I really would love to know. About that one as well. But we're not talking about it. But maybe if you could send me a text message and tell me, government is started paying you 30,000 naira, it will be a wonderful knowledge. I would appreciate that as a matter of fact. Aha! I listened to you and Buchi. Was it on Tuesday? You guys were talking about. I'm sorry, I'm doing a recap. I'm actually doing a recap. You guys were talking about. What were you guys talking about again? Yeah, how Southeast is not being represented in the current structure of the National Assembly, which of course I have my reservations with that, because Southeast has been in the front run from 1999 up until the past National Assembly, in person of rather the 8th National Assembly, and the Southeast have been heavily represented, and that's my reservation, by the way. But then, you all keep coming and say, they don't like the Southeast. That is why they are not giving the Southeasterners anything. Hey, they hate us. They don't like us. They want to kill us. In as much as maybe, I'm not saying you're totally wrong. I'm supposed to be neutral. I'm not taking your side either or neither. But the truth is, do you Southeasterners love yourself? I mean, amongst the Southeasterners, do you love yourselves? I mean, I've become so tired. I've become, what's the word now? Is it exasperated? I've become so lethargic from calls and comments and submissions about the fact that the government does not like the Southeasterners. Like I said, maybe there might be an iota of truth. I cannot confirm that at this moment. I don't have that kind of knowledge. But I do know that in as much as probably, let's even assume there is some sort of oppression from some quarters, amongst yourself, you don't like yourself. Or else, why do we still have Osu? I mean, I'm saying I'm not the one coming up with it. It is in the Vanguard, and the caption is "Eradicate Osu caste Obiano." And that's supposed to be a governor, right? Obiano tells Igbo royal fathers. I mean, amongst yourselves. Hey, I'm from Anambra. I can't talk to this tribe. I'm from this tribe. I can't talk to that tribe. I mean, within yourselves. But that's part of the way. Let's have so many other things that did catch my attention, but I think we're gonna jump straight into the matter for today. My network is a little bit crappy. But then again, it has to do with where you and I left off on Monday, which had to do with the youth system in this part of the world, in this part of the country. And we talked about it on Monday, how Oyo State had a 32-year-old speaker, how Plateau State had a 33-year-old final year student. You need to put that in. And when I left the studio, the next day, reports came in that Zamfara, was it Kogi? I can't remember. I think Kogi also had young speakers. I mean, within the ages of 30 to 34 there, but I cannot remember vividly. But they had young speakers. But then, just like the conversations we had on Monday, the youths in this part of the world, we like, to go picket companies and say, it's our land. We need to employ us. It's our land. We'll take matching grant. And I know in my last 1 year as a Today FM staff, I have seen a lot of news reports about some people in certain local governments that will go, besiege. They'll go all stage and say, I remember, of course, PHEDC one time, a certain community went and said, we are the community that hosts PHEDC. We deserve 24 hours light. I mean, this is Nigeria. I wonder what they were thinking. And there's also the ones who, were trying to picket NDDC not too long ago. There are the ones who, different communities, by the way, different communities, once upon a time, picket. I mean, look at the Niger Delta struggle. It was all about picketing companies. But that's not my... actually, that's the discussion, because the governor has come out to say that youths in River State should actually desist from the act of threatening companies, multinationals. I mean, there's been that argument for so long a time. Some of you call it, yes, they are trying to oppress this part of the country. That is why all the companies are now relocating to Lagos and Abuja. But hey, have you sat down to think? Have you sat down to realize that sometimes probably the fact that at a certain time, River State began to face a lot of insecurity. I mean, there was kidnapping, there was cultism. Then it went to the next level recently and before the elections, where we now began to see beheading and all of that stuff. But the point is, maybe all of these things were the issues. That is why the companies left. More so, or more importantly, was the issue of where companies and businesses were held hostage. But you see, there is also the problem. I'm not taking sides, remember. I'm not taking sides. There is also the problem. And the problem is, when I say I'm not taking sides, it reminds me of, I'm sorry, I'm derailing a bit. It reminds me of, my talk with you on a daily basis, or when I'm on the show, where we get to talk about the APC, PDP, and many of you call me bias and call me, under the payroll of some certain paymasters. But hey, for all of you who belong to, the APC group, who argue in support of the APC group, I do hope right about now we will not be having talks about the past administration not being able to deliver. I mean, you have the National Assembly, all major, the principal officers, all APC now. So I believe now APC should not have an excuse. I mean, they should not. Anyways, back to the discussion. In as much as we say, our youths have, made the ambience, the atmosphere, the surroundings inconducive for these companies, we also would love to say that these companies have made it inconducive for the youths as well. That is where the conundrum is. That is where, the confusion is. That is where the problem is. I mean, you make companies, you obtain lands, maybe, according to the constitution, you're supposed to, deal with certain royalties. And like the governor of Rivers State has said, some of these companies decide to deal directly with criminals, the cold boys and all of that stuff. I mean, we've seen it in the news severally where certain companies were accused of, putting the security of their companies in the hands of the cold boys in those communities. I think that is one of the reasons why, there was the escalation of crime in Rivers State. Now, I would have read you the article, but like I said, I am finding it very, very difficult, very, very difficult to. My internet is crappy right about now, and I can read it out for you. But it is in the Punch paper, and of course, what we like to do. We like to set up committees, that will, inquire and come up with recommendations. Of course, the committee has been set up to, to be a form of mediation between the youths and these companies. But you see, why is this a topic of interest for me? It's because it is our River State, you and I. And the economy of River State matters to you and I. And how do we have the economy of River State up and running? Is when we have investments, coming in rapidly. I mean, imagine we have what do you call it? Imagine we have what do you call it now? Imagine we have. Oh my, I'm really, really distracted about now. Imagine we had companies coming in to invest in numbers. Imagine companies coming in to invest in numbers. I mean, wonderful things might just be happening in River State. Interesting, right? Anyways. Well, so I was saying, oh my god, so many movements in the studio right about now, and this seems to be distracting my thought process. But hey, this is what I'm saying, that imagine we had all of these companies, for example, the oil companies. Imagine we had the headquarters in River State. Do you know the amount of employment that will go into, that will go to the youths of River State? Do you know how many people will be paying tax to the River State government? And that in turn will, if it is done properly, will, turn into, or, would reflect as good roads, good schools, good everything, by the way. Good everything. You pay your tax, that enables the government to work, right? So imagine we had companies and then we employed more youths. That will mean that more taxes for the government and more projects to be delivered. To whom much is given, much is expected, right? So how do we solve this problem? Because it is a problem. The youths will not sit idle or stand in akimbo and watch, like they would say, watch these companies come ravage their lands. And yet we need these companies to come to River State and invest. In your opinion, I mean, the governor fingered the youths as the problem, as one of the problem because of their non-diplomatic ways of handling the issue. He also fingered the cultists who now become representatives of this companies in the community. Also, as what's the word now? Also, as the problem. So, hey, in your opinion, what really is the problem? Who really is the problem? I'm of the opinion maybe the traditional rulers do have hand in this issue, because there have been talks about traditional rulers when giving certain royalties not dispensing these royalties to all of the community. So what do you think is the problem? Because we need the companies to come invest in River State. Yes, hey, I know that's the insecurity issue. We're trying to sort that out. I mean, we've talked about this tirelessly. I mean, there's even a summit, a sort of campaign being held by Today FM on anti-cultism. We're trying our best to do and handle the insecurity in River State. But let's look at companies and the problem they have with the youths. What do you think? Let's accuse. Now I'm giving you free roll to accuse. I want you to accuse. Who do you think, or what do you think is the problem? What do you think, first of all, is causing all of the confusion? What do you think is causing all of the misunderstanding? Because I like to see it as a misunderstanding. Secondly, how do we resolve this? And let's not be partisan about it. I know, because I already envisaged some people calling in and saying, the companies should employ all the young people. What if the young people are not qualified? What if the young people are not ready to work? How do we solve this problem? And I know many people have called for revisiting the Constitution. The Constitution says, company, you're going to be there, you're going to have to pay royalties, you have to, embark on certain human development and all of that stuff. In your opinion, let's visit that now. What do you think should be the specific human development project impacted upon by these companies? I mean, what should the royalties be, or how should the royalties be spent? Those are some of the issues, because if we are able to answer all of these questions, we will be having more investments like Dubai, like the UK, London in the UK, like certain states in America. We will be having investments like China. And when we have these investments, River State will be one of the, talked about goodly, for positive reasons, by the way, I beg your pardon, most talked about states in Nigeria. We have more resources than Lagos. We have great expanse of land, or greater expanse of land than Lagos. But hey, what has Lagos got that we don't have? They've got investors, they've got investments, they've got a lot of people willing and wanting and desiring to do business in Lagos. So hey, it's time for me to open the phone line. It's time for you and I to have that discussion. It's time for you to call in and answer these questions. And let's share thoughts, let's share ideas. Let's marry our ideas together, and let's see how we can move our dear River State forward. 0817 000 0951 and 0810 9510 951. Text messages to the numbers 0701 933 9962. And my apologies, by the way, for being absent for 2 days. I was indisposed. I couldn't, I couldn't stay away from the toilet for more than 5 minutes. All right, first caller for tonight, 95.1.
Good evening, Calava.
Yeah, good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling me from?
Okwandu Obina is my name.
All right, Okwandu Obina, welcome.
The governor is blaming the companies, the youth, and everybody. Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
I think, for me, I will blame the governor.
How so? How so?
You remember that just as he's accusing the traditional rulers and accusing the youth, there are also accusations on his own side.
How do you mean? I mean, the article now that is come up says Wiki wants communities against shutting down oil facilities. Is it Wiki that goes down to shut down these facilities?
Yes.
How do you mean?
Why? No, I didn't say that he's the one, though.
Okay.
Why I am blaming him is that had it been he has provided enough employment for the youth. Look at Timaris that was working here.
All right.
RSSDA. And if the youth have other alternative things that they are doing to engage themselves, I don't think the disturbance on oil companies will be that much.
But then that's the problem. I mean, if the oil companies are here, they will be able to give us employment. But then again, we are shutting them down. So how is that once again the governor's fault?
Yes. Everybody must not work in the oil company.
Interesting.
At least people have a place they need to start from. So when they don't have anything to bounce back on, that is why they will be desperate. They will not even know that the oil companies may even be of more benefit to them than any other thing. So I want to encourage the governor to stop shifting blame.
All right. All right. So let him take some of the blame. Let him take some of the blame. That's what you're saying.
Yes. 70% of the blame should
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. 95.1 FM.
Hello, good evening.
Can you speak up, please? Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Canada.
All right. What's your name? Where are you calling me from?
My name is Onu Samuel.
All right, Onu Samuel, welcome.
Thank you very much, man. Now, based on this matter,
Onu Samuel, please, I need you to up your volume, please. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I like that that tempo. Go on with that tempo now. Let's go.
Okay. You know, it's not that I am supporting of River State going to protest or stop protest before any company or their case or stopping their activities in the state. You understand what I'm saying? Now, some of these companies, some of them, I just underline, some of them are doing fantastically well.
All right.
In terms of collaboration, in terms of manpower development, in terms of training and employment within perhaps.
All right.
Why some people don't want to see the citizens of the state, especially the youth?
Okay.
They hijack employment chances, they chase away the youth with their security agencies, and it's taken like that. And you want them
Sorry, you said they do what? See, when they hijack this position, you say what? I didn't get you. What was the last statement?
I said when they hijack employment opportunities and training that is meant for the citizens of the state and the residents of the state, what then do you expect the youth to do? Now, you are a Calabari man. You've heard of Belema Oil, isn't it?
Yeah, I did. Oh, I know about it.
Have you ever heard that youth protested and shut down Belema oil activity?
No.
Because of the sincerity of the company. That is what we are talking about. And most of these companies come from outside, and you don't want to see the citizens, you don't want to see the residents of the state. All you want is to take their money, take their wealth, and go away from the land.
All right. So what do you think should be our solution to this problem? Because whether you like it, we need these companies. We need them to generate revenue. We need them to be able to. Even the governor has accepted the fact that we need these companies, and I do agree with that. So how do we resolve this problem? How do we make these companies comply with laid down rules and regulations? And at the same time, how do we, teach our youths to be diplomatic when trying to resolve issues?
Now, yes, thank you very much. In as much as I want them to, you understand, to do the right thing the way it's ought to be done, I want them to follow suit the footsteps and the activities of the lemon oil.
No. What are the activities then? What are those activities? We need to learn. I mean, you keep calling that company manpower development. All right.
Opening your gate for the citizens. They are not criminals. They are not putting on my
Now, Onu Samuel. Now, you would realize that this is a business, and the business is done or created to make profits. And if I am to make profits, I would have to look for, the best possible option for me in selecting staffers, for my company. And opening the gates just like that, is that really good? Is that really a wonderful, solution to the problem? I mean,
Kalada.
Yeah.
My brother. The River State we have first class
I do know that.
students.
But you said open. You said open the
No,
gates.
let me just get something clear. If you go to the Lemon Oil, we have first class graduates that are employed from River State.
All right.
They cannot tell us that we don't have manpower or we are not educated. It is just a calculated attempt to deprive the River State citizens of employment.
All right.
Yes, they should be sincere. And I know that some of the companies are doing well, so that they don't mix up that I'm saying that companies are not doing well. Some are doing well, while some are my jackets.
All right. All right, thank you very much for calling in. Wonderful arguments, by the way. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, Mr. Kalada, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling me from?
Oh, long time no see.
Oh, J. Oh my God, you changed your voice. I don't know. You're no longer the singing caller.
I try to switch my voice, maybe let it be like my homie from Russia as Vladimir Putin.
Oh my God!
We are now rolling together.
All right. Welcome on the show.
I blame the government.
All right.
Government not govern around. And I blame the community.
All right.
Let me start from the government. Even the Belema Oil, they also talk about the joint venture with the NNPC, right?
Yeah, something of that nature.
All companies, all IOCs have joint venture with the NNPC and federal government. The federal government have about 59%, while the IOCs have 41%, right?
Yeah, something of that nature, yeah.
Now, that is a business entity. And from the IOCs, whatever percentage they get, they also pay tax to the state government and to the local government.
Royalties to the local government, yeah.
And no, they even pay to local government too.
Oh, really? All right.
Yes, they do. So at the end of the day, the federal government has its own share, the state government has its own share, and the local government has its own share. First question, what do they do with the money?
I asked that question before. I asked it before, yeah.
The responsibility of the IOC is to pay money in tax and a percentage of their own share to the government. They don't hold the community jack.
All right.
If they are to pay community, I'm telling you now, if they are to pay community, it should be based on that 60-40 percentage.
All right.
So if they are to pay community just like they are doing any investment, they will bring their own percentage based on investment. It's just like JJ and Canada doing a business. If I have 50%, if I have 50%, you have 40%, if we're taking any responsibility, we should share the responsibility based on our shares of the company, right?
Yeah, sure.
Good. So why is it that after the IOCs have done all those, communities still come and do this and do that? Oh, shut them down. They have not provided it. Those are things that are supposed to be provided by the government that they pay tax to, that you also pay tax to. These are the people you voted to provide you water, light, all those stuff put together.
So you blame the community and the government and not really the companies.
No. Whatever the company will be doing as at that time, we call this corporate social responsibility.
All right.
They want to provide water for you. It's not your right, for goodness sake.
So it's just their corporate social responsibility.
Exactly. Because the people you voted for to protect you, to do everything for you, is the government. And the same company need to beckon on the government for protection. Let me ask you one question, Kalada.
All right, I'm listening.
If you go to a place like Shell, Chevron, Ajib, and those big IOCs, you will see army there.
Yeah.
See police.
Police. I don't know if I saw army, but I think I saw police. Yeah.
Good. You think they come for free? They pay through their nose to the same government that have this facility. You think they don't pay? Go and ask any of them. Each of those police guys at times go home with 5,000 every day.
Interesting.
So that is not part of what the generals collect. So at the end of the day, these guys are spending so much
Yes, I know they need to do one or two things to the community, but the people you need to hold responsible are your government, not the IOC, because they are the ones to provide those things you are needing for
So going forward, JJ, because I need to get to other callers now. Going forward, what do you think? Since you have made us understand that the government and the community leaders are the ones we should be holding responsible, how then do we ingrain this in the minds of the youths?
Let us mount more pressure on the government.
All right.
The youth, please, instead of going to IOC to lock their gate, go to government house and shut it down.
All right.
It's your house.
All right.
They build that house, they run that house with your money. Thank you.
Thank you
Go to
very
your
much.
local government headquarters.
Thank you very much for calling in, JJ. Wonderful discuss, by the way. 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what is your contribution?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you.
I am Thompson in Port Harcourt.
Thompson in Port Harcourt. Welcome.
Yes. How is your runner, Tom?
It's no longer running. All right. Talk to me now.
Yeah. What actually is the governor accusing the companies of that they are sponsoring cultism or what?
He said, something of that nature, that in as much as it blames the youth for picketing and shutting down these companies and these oil facilities, he also blames this company or the companies for, instead of, investing in good people of the community, rather would invest in criminals, like cultists and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. They are only inviting them, right?
I don't know. It did not really state
who created the cultism and cultists.
I don't know.
Is it the companies that created them?
I mean, cultism was created by people who are in a cult. What are you talking about?
Cultism was created by the society.
Okay.
One reason or the other.
Okay.
And this society is the leaders, not you and I. You and I do not have what it takes to establish cultism and sponsor cultists.
All right.
They are the ones that use them for one reason or the other.
All right.
And when they finish using and dump them, they have to continue the trade and find one means of survival or the other. Now, Canada, let's look at the picture very clearly. We are in River State, right?
All right, yeah, we are.
I don't know how long you have stayed in River State.
All my life. All my life.
Are you aware of Songhai Farm?
Yeah. Shanghai Farm, is it the one at is it Ogoni area?
Yes. What's happening in Songhai Farm today?
Yeah, it's dormant.
Moribund.
All of that, yeah. The moribund.
Are you aware of the syringe factory?
You're very close to me, yeah. I used to live around that area at one time.
What's happening there today?
Inconclusive.
Beautiful. What's happening about the banana plantation?
Still along the Ogoni. I see if you're going to Akwa Ibom State.
How functional is it today?
I haven't been there in a long time.
The fish pond at Bonnet or somewhere, where is it?
The fish pond in Calabar, I believe. In Bugoma, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's how many now? 4.
So where you going? Where you going with this? Yeah.
I'm on a journey.
No, let's cut the journey short, please, so other people can call in.
That's why I said I will soon arrive.
All right.
What happened to Iwama? This traffic people that we have formed.
Timariv,
thank you. Now the question now is, if all these establishments are dead, where are the people that they employed? Are they out of River State? They are still in River State, isn't it?
Yeah, they are.
And they must survive. They must feed. They must send their children to school.
All right.
They must do one thing or the other that they need to do. They've been put out of existence, and they refuse to put themselves out of existence.
All right.
My brother, the truth remains from my own angle that even if the companies are making use of these cultists, they are feeding on a tool, and as a result of that, they became. What did they say about the idle
round
mind?
up, please. Round up so we can go to other callers, please.
They say that the idle mind is the devil's workshop, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
That is what you are facing. They should make the minds in River State busy and the devil will pack and go.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in, Thompson. But very, very. I mean, the last two callers have been. I'll get back to that. Let's first of all go straight to the phone lines. 95.1. Hello.
Canada.
Yes. Good evening to you. What's your name?
KSP.
KSP. Welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me, KSP.
Let's start from the studio there.
Sorry?
From your studio.
All right, let's start from my studio. All right, talk to me.
Yeah. Is it that there are no persons to work in your studio? That's why we have just few reverse persons to work in your studio. That should be the question.
Come again. I like.
Is it that there are no persons that can do the work right there in your studio? That's why we have just few reverse youths like you. I know of you and one other two persons.
Which other two persons? Which other two persons do you know? So where are you going with this? I don't know the answer to that question. Where are you going with this?
Okay. Most times you will hear them say Rivers youth don't want to work.
All right.
The very first caller was that was his own argument that Rivers youth don't want to work. See, I was opportune 2-6 to 2-10. I was opportune to work in Chevron, Extrabus.
All right.
What I saw is not something I should begin to explain.
All right.
You will see some persons from other parts of the country. They will come. We have almost 6 kind of ID cards. What we call pass 3, pass 2, pass 1, white pass. The white.
I think that's done in almost every big company. Yeah,
so
there are different
what
levels.
I'm trying to say is there are some persons that will come from other parts of the country. Automatically, they are staffs. But when you see somebody from this part of the country, in fact, Niger Delta, you will see them come with contracts. So is it that these persons are the ones they try to employ? It will be contract staff, while the persons from other side will be staff.
But they say the contract staff ends bigger than the normal staff.
Canada, I'm talking about Chevron, where I was opportune to be.
Well, like I said, they say, and I'm quoting them, they say that.
That's why I say it is not true. I was there.
Well, how much do you know how much the staffers were earning? You don't know how much the staff.
Yeah. In fact, the reason why some of us were stuck was as a result of agitations because of salary imbalance in salary structure. I was one of the persons that was sacked around 2010. So nobody should come and tell. In fact, is it possible that you are drilling something here, you are safe, but your office is not safe? You are continue drilling. When you are drilling, you are safe. But for you to keep that same office that will make you employ people here, it is not safe. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
All right.
And when we talk about unemployment, they will be calling River State government. Canada, are you not aware that from 2015, some of the policies that the federal government made people to lose their jobs, and many million jobs? So what are we talking about? This, that, this, that.
All right.
We should stop all this.
All right, thank you very much.
Rivers youth are very capable to work.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. We have 30 minutes left on the clock, and we're looking at companies versus community youths. And the River State governors come out to say, hey, community youth, stop going to block and shut down, these oil facilities. And, he talked a lot, and he also blamed the companies for not liaising properly with the community youths. And I was saying, how do we get this lock jam? How do we get this stone out of the shoe? How do we get it so that we can have proper investments in River State? And, a lot of revelations have been, pouring in. 95.1 FM.
Hello.
Yes. What's your name?
Good evening. My name is Victor.
All right, Victor, welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm calling you from Omok.
Victor, all the way from Omok, welcome.
Yes. So now, according to the last man, what the last man that just called in, what he said,
is absolutely correct. You know why? I'm one of at least you know how much we used to be before.
All right.
I could remember before when we go for employment in Egypt, they will look for any big man that is only correct, like somebody, any strong big man that he face, like let me use it by pidgin English, when he face you, they will not contract job to him. At the same time, give him the job as contract. He will now come again and contract it to someone else. After when they do it like that, then they will be paying to know what they're supposed to do. These people that are doing this thing too is the indigenous. Are you hearing? It's the indigenous that are doing this too. But if it is all these foreigners, all those Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, some part of Akwa Ibom, they will just get immediate job direct to Egypt. So time now come when our boys now realize that this thing these people are doing was a very wrong one. They now protest. After the protest, what that is Egypt now started doing was, before they will take you for one, before they will bring that chance, they will, first of all, it will be, when they bring it, they will send you for training. After the training, 6 months, they will now employ you as a staff. So what they are trying to say in essence is there is a particular set of people that is ruling, taking in charge of all these multinationals. I don't really know the reason why they will be taking charge of them. So that's the thing. The people that has the thing is not having the opportunity. They should stop it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling in. 95.1. Lost that call. 0817 000 0951 and 0810 951 0951. Apparently, the text message portal is down to I cannot. Oh, I might just take a text message. Hold on. 95.1. 95.1.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is from Port Harcourt.
Solo West from Port Harcourt. Welcome.
You see, the problem is from we here.
Talk to me. How do you mean it's from me? Talk to me.
When a company comes into a community, meet the chief and the elders, they will tell them to bring their quota for employment.
All right.
Okay. Now they start selling the quota.
To the highest bidder.
To non-indigenous.
Oh, I see.
Now the numbers of the youth that are supposed to get those jobs will decrease. Maybe they say, okay, bring 200 people. Graduates, people that are technically inclined, and also
people that are trainable.
The people that did not go to school, that is cleaners and security and all the rest. You see, out of that 200 quota, 700. And when they sell the 100, the youth now from the village will not get the quota of 200. And now when you go and meet the company, say, look, we've given you people 200 chance to bring people. Oh, we didn't get, go and meet your chief. So that is the problem.
So you're blaming the chiefs?
Yeah, the chiefs and the elders.
Interesting.
Now, I had one community in the Ikwere local MOA wanted, another country wanted to give them some billions of naira. Now the elders and the chiefs of the village, they want to cut the money down. They want to corner some before they declare the ones, that kind of a thing.
Going forward, how do you think these companies should be relating with the communities then?
They have a mediator, like a legal officer or something like that. The company has it and the community also has.
So I know that, but that seems not to be working. So do you think maybe the company should start, dealing with the people directly? Maybe
there must be a representative. They can't just deal with the whole community. The community will bring that person that will represent them. Then it goes into negotiate with the company legal officer also. So I think let them be sincere. Saying our youth are lazy. Nobody is lazy. Everybody has his own capacity, potential, his own area. So they should not tag the Rivers youth as lazy people. They're not lazy.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in Solo West, and there we lost you. 95.1.
Yeah, good evening.
Mr. Zion, welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. I hope you're good. You sound very, very unwell.
I'm not okay.
All right, sorry about that.
No, not that I'm sick. Oh.
It's not every. Still sorry about that.
You ranted and you brought a lot of items to the table.
It's called in our local parlance longer truths. I did you longer truths.
I am much concerned about the education.
But we're not talking about it. I know we're not talking about it. I know you're concerned about it. Maybe we could talk about it on Saturday. Maybe on Saturday. All right, yeah. Hello? All right, we lost you there. Sorry about that. 95.1.
Yeah, good evening.
Chris. Oh, Chris, welcome.
Yeah.
All right, and talk to me.
I'm calling this discussion and about what is happening maybe in some of the companies. And they all said to the second caller, said it on. Even where I am now, same thing. Every company, for example, now,
Chris, I can hear you. I can hear you. You're disappearing.
No, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, better.
Yeah, I say this kind can always happen within our city here. For example, now, if you are from Niger Delta, maybe you want to go to share array. See, before you, the indigenous here, will cross the first gate, the type of explanation you will explain in your own country.
It's not about your own country. They have procedures. I mean, they have procedures.
No. Listen, I'm coming. But somebody that is not from here, no identification, threat. Why is it like this?
Are you sure? Can you substantiate that claim?
I know what I'm saying now.
Right.
Let me send you now. You go and investigate.
All right.
See, this work that you are saying, there is work. But the problem is this. The big men and all those politicians, they have sold the whole slot to them. Whereby, myself, now, if I am looking for a job, they will now ask me to go and meet so chief, and the so chief will now ask me to bring 30,000 or to reach an agreement that my first salary, if I have any opportunity to, they will be paying me 60,000. That him that is not going to work, he's not working, he's not paying any transport to the work, he's collecting 30% or 40% out of the 60%. Somebody that did not do anything, my application, I wrote it, his own is just that is what is happening. Not that there is no, even government, they know what is happening, and nobody wants to say anything. Even the company, they know the person that they would, when you come, they ask you there is no job, but those managers will sell the location to some people here. They are using it to make money. So you have freedom to suck the oil. You have the security to stock the oil, but it's coming to employ people from here. You're now using insecurity to give me an excuse.
All right.
See, Canada, let them repent. So if they do repent,
thank you very much.
All of them, they will run from this country.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. Thank you very much for calling in. We're not chasing anybody out. 95.1 FM.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening to you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Chris, calling from Momo.
All right, Chris, Chris, and now you're Chris. All right, welcome.
I love this studio. The same thing as we are talking, it do happens to me and some of my colleagues around. We are being trained by Total in PCI Warri. And after they dumped us.
When you say they dumped you, what do you mean? What do you mean by they dumped you?
Yeah, what I mean is we attended their interviews, attended their tests, and we passed even. About 8 of us, when we went for it, we attended their tests and we passed. But all of a sudden, waiting for their employment letter and all the rest, it's just for us to hear that
we should just wait till further notice. And this I'm telling you is about 5 years today. Up to today, we haven't had anything from them. So what I'm saying in essence is there are some persons, mostly in our place, in our area, that are hijacking those chances.
All right.
When there are employment opportunities, they hijack it, they monetize it to their own persons, or even sold it out to outsiders instead of allowing the community to benefit from it. So it's a very bad habit. If they can desist from such habits, monetizing community chances and selling it so for their personal use, if they can desist from such habits, I believe something better will come up. So that is my opinion.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Thank you very much. And that will be our last caller. Saying people like Jack, those and people from the community, by the way. People, this is how they say man in humanity to man. But hey, I mean, a lot of issues have been raised on the show tonight. First, the government not providing enough jobs for the youths who in turn now go into violence and picket companies. And also talk about, community leaders hijacking, when the companies come and give them those opportunities, they sell it out to the highest bidder. There's also the talk of the companies not doing enough. I mean, yes, like JJ would argue, social, what did he call it again? Social responsibility, social economic responsibility, something of that nature. But in as much as it's all of that, when you're employing people, you need to really, really do employ. I mean, we have it in our constitution, the federal character, the quota system. So you really, really, really need to go the extra mile and ensure that the people you are actually employing are from that community. You need to investigate. I don't know how you do it. But hey, the truth is we need a solution to the problems of how companies are leaving or are being shut down by we the people. We need to look at all of that. But thank you nonetheless for being a part of the show. It's time for the world news. I'm bringing you the world news. So stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM. I am Kalada, and this has been Opinion Poll on the evening show titled or called Today's Connect. Yeah, stay tuned.
News, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues, today on whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered on air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Good evening, this is the World News at 10 on your premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I am Kala Dakaru Batwo. The headlines. A River State Police Command parades 20 persons for various crimes. Youths in Ogoni call for more deployment of security operatives and special security summit for youths. President Muhammadu Buhari restates Nigeria's support for independence of people of Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. On the foreign scene, UN warns against confrontation as international concern grow over suspected attacks on commercial ships near Strait of Hormuz. Now, the news in details. The River State Police Command has paraded 20 suspected criminals, including 8 cultists, 3 kidnappers, 4 armed robbers who allegedly have been terrorizing parts of the state. Our correspondent, Uchendu Ejowo, reports that the command also displayed 10 recovered cattle, 55 live ammunition, 82 cartridges, 3 pump-action guns, 5 magazines, 14 locally made pistol, 2 AK-47 rifles, fake $100 note, 3 vehicles, and some chemical substances. Briefing newsman at the police headquarters in Port Harcourt, the Commissioner of Police, Usman Belal, said police officers of the Eagle Crack Squad stormed an uncompleted building in Eleme local government area of the state to rescue a kidnapped victim, while men of the anti-kidnapping unit, led by David Shadare, trailed some other suspected kidnappers to their camp in Igboeche, where a victim was also rescued. CP Belal also disclosed that the command foiled 3 armed robbery incidents and cattle rustling. The commissioner assured that the command have rejigged its strategy and repositioned its personnel for optimum productivity, saying that River State shall no longer be conducive for criminals. Some of the suspects, including suspected car snatchers who spoke to newsmen during the parade, denied any involvement in the crime.
My friend called me that I should come and help him out with that problem. So when I came out to Lumokoro Junction, 2 policemen now arrested me. That's why I'm a student at Port Harcourt Poly. They say that I connect with this boy to go and I know them. They're my friends, but they didn't go and steal any vehicle. I'm studying in Port Harcourt here.
We went out on Sunday. That was around 10 or 11. And we were exhausted. There was no cab for us to go home. So she said she had a friend. Actually, a guy drove out and took her. So we pleaded that she take us, all of us together. So we went straight. She dropped us. The guy dropped 4 of us together. Then we left. The next morning, they called us that she called that the guy that dropped the vehicle in our place, that the guy is not around the guys, and she's going out.
A kidnapped victim, Joy Johnson, has narrated her ordeal in the hands of her abductors who kidnapped her in Port Harcourt and took her to a forest in Igboeche in Eche local government area of Rivers State. The 42-year-old Johnson says she was taken to different camps by the kidnappers who also used her ATM card to withdraw all the money in her bank account. Johnson said the criminals had demanded for a ransom of 100 million naira but later reduced it to 1.5 million naira after she was maltreated and left without food for 3 days.
Before then, that said displaying. They were now like 10. They put me in the middle and said they're going to kill me. This is where they do their own activities. This is where they carry out their activities. They'll kill me. Nobody will hear. So I was just pleading. So they now appointed 2 people to take me to where I will sleep. So I thought where I will sleep is actually a house. Until I now begged them, I said, okay, if these people are taking me, please talk to them not to touch me. Whatever you people want, I will give it to you people, but nobody should touch me because I was scared of that part. And their boss, the one that pointed the gun, said nobody was going to touch me. So they took me a far distance. We trekked like almost 2 hours into the forest. When we got to the forest, they now told me that's where I'm going to be staying till I get their ransom. So immediately we got in there, they tied me up.
One of the suspects, identified as Caleb Duru, linked to the abduction, denied any involvement in the crime.
He now tell us that the motor he parked, that they deflate the tire. So we come to ask who deflate the tire. He said, one mechanic went park for a shop. So constantly, he go call vulcanizer, they pump the tire. As in they pump the tire, one young elderly man come out and say, no be the mechanic less the tire, that is the youth president. So at the process, the youth come. So after they come, begin ask the boy who get the motor, started making call. So this my friend come say this guy they do like suspect.
Police personnel attached to Ishokpo Division have arrested and handed over a man and his wife to the State Criminal Investigation Department over the murder of one Chief Benson Amadi. Chief Benson Amadi is reported to have been stabbed to death by a woman who was allegedly having issues with his wife at Omagwu community in Ikore local government area of Rivers State. A brother of the slain Chief Benson Amadi, who confirmed the incident to our correspondent, said the woman, who is the caretaker of a particular yard in Omagwa, had a misunderstanding with late Chief Amadi's wife. He said in the course of the controversy, the woman allegedly stabbed Chief Amadi on his chest while trying to stab the wife, leading to Chief Amadi's death. Our source said his brother died on his way to hospital and had been deposited at the mortuary, while the woman and her husband have been transferred to the state CID for investigation. Youths in Ogoni communities have called for more deployment of security operatives and special security summit for youths in the area for the return of peace in Ogoni land. They also called on stakeholders to intensify efforts in ending the resurgence of cold violence that have continued to destroy the people. Youth President of Bambowe community in Kana local government area, Damiel Dumale, said cold clashes have continued despite series of warning by the government.
Gunmen invaded my community and started shooting sporadically. That shooting leads to loss of life and properties destroyed. And I'm using this medium to also call on the entire Ogoni to come into this matter, and the state government and the federal government. Investors will not come into where there is crisis. I'm using this medium to call on the Nigerian army to wade into this matter. I'm using this medium to call on the Nigerian police to wade into this matter and put an end to this.
Justice Adolfo Senebeli of the High Court in Port Harcourt has ordered that the second accused person in the murder of the 8-year-old Jikamso Victory Onwu Amwebu in Eliozi area of Port Harcourt, Ugochukwu in Wamiro, be brought to court to enter defense on the matter. Justice Enebili, while overruling a no-case submission filed by Nwamiru's lawyer, said the application was filed at the wrong time when other defendants in the matter are yet to give their evidence. The court held that the prosecution has proved a prima facie case that the second accused person, Ugochukwu Nwamiru, should give evidence on the matter to know if he has any link with the matter. Sonye John Inda, who is the counsel to the second accused person, Ugochukwu Nwamiru, told newsmen that there are no evidence against his client that he committed the alleged offense.
We filed a no-case submission, which the court has overruled today. And I thank God in course of the ruling of the court, he did not say the reason for asking him to defend was because he was found with issues that he must explain out himself. The court said in his own good mouth that the application overstepped because the application came when all other defendants have not defended. Maybe if this application had come when other defendants have defended, Ugochukwu Nwamiru would have been set free. And I am strongly holding that he will be set free because from the evidences put up in this court, the man is innocent to the core.
The State Council, Chidi Eke, spoke on why the court faulted the application.
This is the notorious case of Ifa Idike and two others. A murder case that was being prosecuted by my former director, Ayo Torobio Esquire, but has been handed over to me to continue from where he stopped the matter. Today, the matter was adjourned for ruling on a no-case submission made by the second defendant, which we also opposed it. And the court delivered this ruling today. In its ruling, the court overruled the submission of the second defendant and ordered that the second defendant should enter a defense that the state has made out a case that he should stand trial.
The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, says it has completed about 5,000 projects across the 9 states of the region. Acting Managing Director of NDDC, Professor Nelson Brambaifa, disclosed this at a June 12 interactive session with stakeholders in Port Harcourt. Professor Brambaifa, in his address, appealed to the people of the region to protect the projects put in place by the NDDC.
We boost our internal rules, all in Delta State. We are committed to completing projects across all the states of the region and delivering them to the people. I'm happy to inform you that NDDC has so far completed over 5,000 projects. We will commission them all. To achieve this, we will be needing our stakeholders to perform commissioning of many other projects. They are all your projects, and our committee must own them all. Also, I and my team, at this point, let me introduce.
Our correspondent reports that some stakeholders at the event complained about the number of abandoned projects, especially in Ondo and Cross River states. The River State University has said there is no going back on the movement of faculties of social sciences and humanities to the proposed outer campus of the university. Vice Chancellor of River State University, Professor Blessing Didier, gave this indication while granting audience to the chairman of Outer East Council of Traditional Rulers, King Felix Otuarikpo, in Port Harcourt. Professor Didier said the management of the university was working with relevant stakeholders in the area to create the enabling environment for smooth teaching and learning when the campus is ready.
The Outer campus has been decreed and signed by the governor. I have been able to go there and see the site. Right now, they are drawing up all the architectural items that will be there so that the government can start constructing what it is. But on our own part here, we have been working hard, knowing that once government finishes whatever they will construct there, we will be required to move immediately. So we have established the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences to be the first to move to Ahoda. So what we are doing here is to strong those faculties. I have no doubt that to be a peaceful place, once we move in there, we'll work with everybody and make sure that things will work out well.
In the meantime, the chairman of Outer East Council of Traditional Rulers, King Felix Otuarikpo, said the traditional institution in Ekpeye has put machinery in motion to ensure early commencement of academic activities at the Outer campus. Nigerians have remained positive over the peaceful democratic system of the country. Some residents of Port Harcourt who spoke on the backdrop of Nigeria's celebration of 20 years civilian rule said the country's nascent democracy has the capacity to grow as long as there is no military interference. Respondents in an interview with correspondent Funaya Wemendukwe added that the declaration of June 12 as the new Democracy Day will serve as a reminder that Nigeria has the capacity to develop.
Man, the best election ever Nigeria have done. That's why we are recognizing Abiola as the first person who did free and fair election in Nigeria because of it was free and fair election. Compare with what have been happening in Nigeria. We've not done anything.
It was celebrating in the sense that democracy in Nigeria today has been sustained. No military intervention. At least we should celebrate that.
Because there are some basic necessities we have not gotten. Even those who we elect as our representative, they are not representing us well because they are taking it as their own personal.
An agricultural system.
June 12 is what I think is the world give back to this one. I thank God for the last 20 years, interruption of military taking over. That's my job.
The Chief of Army Staff, Tuko Buratai, has commended the Nigerian Army for restoring normalcy to the creeks of the Iteto volatile Niger Delta, thereby increasing the level of socio-economic activities in the region. The Army Chief gave the commendation while speaking at the annual June 12 lecture of the Unity House Foundation and the Garden City Leadership Initiative, where he was special guest of honor. Buratai, who was represented by the General Officer commanding 6th Division of the Army and Land Component Commander of Operation Delta Safe, Jamil Saham, admitted that the security challenges facing the country at the moment have stretched the police, military, and indeed other security agencies in personnel and resources. He, however, promised that the Army was poised and committed to live to its constitutional responsibility by ensuring that all threats to the country's national security were defeated at the earliest possible time. Buratai also hailed the organizers of the annual lecture, saying the initiative proved that the next generation were ready to take over the mantle of leadership of the country and tackle the challenges of their time. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated Nigeria's support for the people of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic and their quest for self-determination and independence. According to a statement made available to newsmen by the President's Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, Buhari, while speaking with the President of Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, Ibrahim Gali, who paid him a visit at the State House, said that Nigeria's position was in line with the several resolutions of the African Union and the United Nations on the matter. He also reassured him of Nigeria's commitment towards supporting the efforts of the AU and the UN in finding a lasting solution to this Sahrawi problem. Earlier, Gali had congratulated Buhari on his re-election and the successful celebration of Democracy Day, and commending Nigeria's past support for Sahrawi Democratic Republic and other liberation movements on the African continent. Gali said the weight of Nigeria's support remained crucial to the final resolution of the continued colonization of his people. You're listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
And we're back.
As well as the allocation of offices to the senators. The committee, whose assignment starts immediately, will work with the clerk of the Senate and is expected to submit its report within 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the lawmakers have adjourned plenary for 2 weeks to enable the management of the federal parliament come up with acceptable arrangements for the lawmakers' office accommodation. They are expected to resume on July 2. Meanwhile, Senate President Ahmed Lawan has sworn in former Governor of Imo State, Roger Okorocha, as a senator. This comes the day after the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) issued him a certificate of return in obedience to a court order. Senator Okorocha will represent the Imo West Senatorial District at the Red Chamber. The 9th House of Representatives held its first plenary after members were inaugurated on Tuesday, June 11, 2019. The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, swore in Musa Saki Ada, who was absent at the Tuesday's inauguration. The oath of office was administered by the Clerk of the House, Patrick Giwa, at plenary in Abuja. The House that is made in plenary entertained two motions of urgent public importance bordering on security and environmental hazards. The People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, have prayed the Presidential Tribunal to order the Independent National Electoral Commission to grant them access to inspect the Commission's server. The PDP also prayed the Tribunal to give it permission to inspect all the electronic gadgets used by INEC in the February 23 presidential election. PDP and Atiku in their petition before the tribunal are claiming that they won the February 23 presidential election in view of the results fed to the INEC server. Meanwhile, INEC has insisted that it had no electronic server being sought to be assessed and inspected by the PDP and its presidential candidate. The commission had earlier denied the existence of such server in its reply filed on April 10, 2019 to oppose Atiku and PDP's petition pending before the five-man panel. The Labour Party has re-elected its national chairman Alhaji Abdulkader Abdul Salam alongside other national officers to lead the party for the next 4 years under a keenly contested and peaceful national convention of the party held in Akwanga, Nasarawa State. The elected national vice chairman includes Sunday Innocent Okeke for Southeast, Comrade Bodes Simon Southwest, Prince Favor Ruben South-South, Comrade Adi Shri Shah North Central, Al-Khali Ibrahim Mohammed Northeast, and Umar Farouk Ibrahim Northwest. While Julius Abure emerged the party's national secretary, Kennedy Chigozie and Alhaji Saleh Lawan were elected deputy national secretaries, respectively. The United Nations has warned that the world cannot afford a major confrontation in the Gulf as international concerns grow over suspected attacks on commercial ships near the Strait of Hormuz. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, while speaking at a Security Council meeting, denounced Thursday's incident and strongly condemned any attack against civilians in the incident. He further added that facts surrounding the suspected attacks must be established and responsibilities clarified. The reported attacks in the Gulf of Oman off the coast of Iran left one ship ablaze and both adrift, forcing scores of crew to abandon the ships. Although details of what happened are still scarce, the incidents, which were the second in a month near the strategic Strait of Hormuz, a major waterway for world oil supplies, came amid heightened frictions between the United States and Iran. Britain's Interior Minister said he had certified the U.S. request to extradite WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange on espionage grounds in a procedural move that opens the way for a court battle. The U.S. Justice Department confirmed that it had submitted a formal extradition request, which British Home Secretary Sajid Javid said he signed it on Wednesday. The final decision on whether Assange can be extradited will rest with the courts. The 47-year-old had been sheltering in Ecuador's embassy in London for 7 years until his arrest on April 11 when Quito finally withdrew his asylum. Washington has accused Assange of violating the U.S. Espionage Act by publishing military and diplomatic files in 2010. In sports, championship side West Brom has announced former Croatia and West Ham boss Slaven Bilic as new coach. The Baggies have appointed Bilic on a 2-year deal as the permanent successor to replace Darren Moore, who was controversially sacked in March with West Brom sitting fourth. James Shawn was put in temporary charge until the end of the season, but West Brom's hopes of immediately bouncing back to the top flight were ended by defeat and penalties to Aston Villa in the playoff semi-finals. To end the news, here is the summary of the major stories. The Rivers State Police Command has paraded 20 persons for various crimes. Youths in Ogoni have called for more deployment of security operatives and a special security summit for youths in the area. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated Nigeria's support for the independence of the people of Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. On the foreign scene, the UN has warned against a major confrontation as international concern grows over suspected attacks on commercial ships near the Strait of Hormuz. That was the news as edited by Chinidi Uwuna. For comments and enquiries, please call 0815-341-8657 or 0814-434-3502 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Kala Dakurubatubo. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
So good to have you here. Representatives from Daily Income, Engineer Offer Monday. He's the MD CEO, Funny Vision Nigeria Limited. Good